Welcome, adventurer. You seem tired, weary from your journey throughout the week. Please, take a seat. We have many things to discuss. The Diablo IV developer update. Dark and Darker's trying to get back on Steam. Nintendo sues the world. Grab your mead, take a seat, and relax. For we have a great episode for you today.
That felt good.
Didn't it?
That felt pretty good.
Yeah.
Motivation.
Did it?
Yeah. I was like, God dang, I'm fired up. Let's go.
Yeah. You seem weary from your journey. Oh, man. So, what's up, dude?
You're gonna be super judgmental, like as usual.
I'm already judging you. all you gotta do is just tell me that I'm going to be, and I'm like, yes, I will.
Yes, obviously I will.
Indeed, I will be judgmental.
So this weekend, I finished Destiny 2's DLC. Well, without the raid. Yeah. And then, yeah, I saw the yawn.
What's up, Tom? What's up, Gaming Fire? Hello, Jucky.
Then I played 10 hours of Vampire Survivors.
Why would I judge you for playing Vampire Survivors?
I'm
the only thing, in chat, I'm going to say this right now, for how many times I told Mark to play Vampire Survivors, he's like, that shit looks so fucking dumb. It looks dumb. It looks fucking cheap. Why am I going to play something that looks like it's out of 1982, 85, some bullshit? And then he goes and he plays it. I'm like, just play it for like an hour. Mark plays it for an hour and then puts in like 100 hours.
Yeah, and then, so, like, right now I'm going through and just doing every level. I even found the secret level in one of these deals that takes you, like, on a side-scrolling 2D deal you have to get through to get a special deal, which gets you the rings for the lancelet, that clock lancelet.
Oh, so you can actually, whatever. Like, you have to show me how to do that, because I've never done that before.
But then I was like, you know what? Okay, I need to stop. And then I was pulling up articles to look for, and then our favorite Kotaku had an article about another Vampire Survivor-esque game, and I was like, I'll go try it out. It's it's from the stupid Nicolas Cage vampire movie. It's called Renfield. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's what it's named after. The game is absolute fire.
Is it really?
Game is absolute fire. It is so good. I've already I bought it this morning and I beat it all the way. I've already completed through the whole thing.
Oh,
it's
wow.
that good. Yeah, it's good.
Cool. Let's check it out.
It's in early access. It's $4.
It's gonna be like a Vampire Survivors clone or something like that.
It's a mix of Vampire Survivor and Binding of Isaac. Is what I would put it as.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's really
good.
The
only other Vampire Survivor like game I've played is Soulstone Survivors, which is it's all right. It has a couple other systems that Vampire Survivors doesn't have, but it's good. It's good. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
I've been playing a little bit of Resident Evil 4 lately. Getting further in that. Game is so damn good. It's just I just don't know how to say it. It's just so damn good, dude. It's so good.
I think I'm just going to wait for it to go on sale. Capcom usually does a sale during the summer.
What?
I'm going to pick it up.
Oh, yeah, they'll probably do a summer sale.
Yeah.
I thought it was a spring sale they did. I don't know. There's a sale every year.
They do a spring, summer, fall.
Yeah, they
winter.
have a sale for everything. What else? I've been playing more and more Last Epoch.
Yeah, I notice you're still jamming that.
Yeah, I'm gearing up. Yeah, I'm gearing up for my review on it. I was actually like on stream on Friday. I had a discussion with some folks that were watching and kind of went over some of my talking points and stuff for the review that I'm gonna do, which is pretty cool. I think I'm actually probably gonna do that in the future. Like anytime I'm playing a game, I'm gonna do a review on it. I'll just talk about it with stream and just like talk my thoughts out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, Tom. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 is chef's kiss. It's insanely good how good they did, or how great of a job they did with it. It really is.
Wait for 5. It would be so good.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. I would much rather them go and do, I don't know, Dino Crisis. That would be awesome. Do you have any idea how many people would play Dino? Like, people would go nuts. There's 2 games. There are 2 remakes that nobody wants to touch for some fucking reason. And if they did, everybody would go wild. And that is Legend of Dragoon and Dino Crisis.
They're saving that for when they need to have one game to save their company.
We need to save our company. How are we gonna do that? Square Enix is like, how are we gonna save our company?
The intern busts in the door. He's like, Dino Crisis.
Well, that's Square Enix would be. Well, actually, that's Sony Interactive Entertainment's the one that made Legend of Dragoon. It wasn't. It wasn't Square Enix. Now I think about it. Welcome to the show, Mango. So yeah. I've been playing a little bit of that. It's been good. I'll get the review on it. I don't know if I'm gonna do it next week. I might try to like double up and do 2 videos next week. I already have. I have 2 more Diablo IV videos that are in the cook, in the oven cooking, in the cook oven.
They're the cook.
They're in the cook. Oh god. And then I have the last Epoch review, so I'm gonna end up doing that as well. Yeah, we'll never see Bloodborne. No shit. I don't think we need to see a remake of Bloodborne. A remaster, maybe. A remaster would be nice. It would be good, but I mean, a remake a PlayStation 4 game, or is it 3? It was 4.
The Last of Us. They remade that a lot.
We don't talk about that anymore.
It's a PlayStation 3 game.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing this week. Spent the day at the beach yesterday. It was nice. I'm starting to get some color. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get as far away from the whiteness of my shirts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like you live in California and you're like so pasty.
Yeah, because I'm fucking terminally online. What do you expect?
I'm just red because of high blood pressure and heart disease. So
yeah, I'm dying. So yeah, so gaming is cool. Still working on my Final Fantasy XIV first ultimate clear. We are now at actually this week we'll be at Ultima. So honestly, maybe like another 2 weeks and I'm done. So like next week and then the week after. Oh no, we're crushing it. No, we're absolutely crushing it. Funny story about that, actually, just to derail us just for a moment. I'm not running like DPS numbers or anything like that. I'm not parsing. But you know, there's a couple other people that have like, you know, that are parsing, and apparently our healer was underperforming.
Mm-hmm.
Like really badly.
Like DPS.
Yes,
like
just in general, healing,
okay.
DP, all across the board, everything. Like they were healing enough, they weren't doing enough damage, and like, and we were noticing like we were having certain problems clearing certain content. Well, that person ended up stepping out. They said, you know what, I'm sorry, I think I'm holding you guys back. I find somebody to replace me. We ended up replacing them, and then all of a sudden we just crush everything. Like we are just dominating this fight. Like we actually have to slow down our damage. I don't mean
to laugh. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad.
Here's the thing. Our raid leader thought this guy was actually going to be really good for the team because he already had a weapon from Coils of Bahamut. So he already has it from one of the ultimates, and then he also has another weapon from the Ultimate of Alexander. So he's already had 2 completed ultimates. But the thing is that nobody has a parse log on this guy anywhere. So it doesn't actually show that he's ever completed it, like so far as on like parsing websites, like damage number websites. Yeah. Which means he bought the clears. He bought the clears. Yeah. The only reason you would do that is if you bought the clears, and he didn't do that kind of research at the beginning. So yeah, it was just kind of a funny thing where it's just like all of a sudden we get this new healer and just absolutely just shit on the whole entire fight. So yeah, we'll probably clear it pretty quickly.
Awesome.
So did you get to watch the entire Diablo IV developer update?
I did.
Did you?
This is Riker. Yeah,
hey folks. This is Riker.
I still can't believe he did that at the beginning. I was like, oh, that's so.
I wonder if he said that like when he does he say that when he walks up to people? Hey folks, my name's Riker. Yeah. Hello, Diablo IV staff. My name is Riker. Anyway,
I watched a lot of it, and then I read some articles about, you know, from just touch up stuff from Rod Ferguson on Twitter and whatnot. afterwards.
There's been
people still had questions.
Yeah, I mean, some stuff still needed a little bit of clarification. They have been really, really transparent.
Yeah, they are.
Like really, really transparent. So I'm gonna give you a bit of a. No, I can't give spoilers on the podcast. We have like at least like 15 million people that watch these. You know what I mean? So it's like this is the reason why I have a Lamborghini Gallardo in the parking lot. You know.
Yeah, your cat has a Lamborghini, bud. All right, you're rolling.
No, so like one of the things that's really impressing me with Diablo is just for the Diablo team is that they are doing such a damn good job.
Yeah, they are. Their PR that they're doing with like directly attacking the complaints, like directly changing something per complaint.
Yeah,
has been phenomenal.
Oh no, it's been killer.
And then they talk out their whole thought process of why they changed it and everything else. It's been really nice.
Same thing goes for certain things that they're ignoring as well, right? Like there's some like community concerns that they're completely disregarding because they know it's not really worth anything.
Yeah, like the overlay map. It's not going to be at launch, bud.
No, and here's the thing. I don't think they're going to add it at all. And I think that they're not going to add it at all for a good reason. I don't fully understand what we are going to pay for in seasons. We're not going to pay for seasons. What do you mean? Seasons are free.
Yep.
Everything. I mean, once the
battle pass is optional.
Yeah, you can pay for the battle pass if you want to, but that's just going to be cosmetics and like premium currency to buy things in their store. So it's if you don't want to support it and you don't want to pay for it, you don't have to worry about it. It's not really if you had a voice rumbly as Riker's, what are you trying to say? You'd like me more?
This is Riker.
This is Riker. Anyway, so I think that they're doing a really good job with it. I think the mini map thing. I don't think they're going to add it at all because they want you to play the game. They want you to see the game. They want you to pay attention to the screen.
Yeah.
And the problem is that when you use an overlay map, more often than not, you leave the overlay map up the entire time and you're not even really looking at anything. You know what I mean?
I get that, but it's also for what you do. What like a normal person like myself uses the overlay map for is just it's a quick pop up, see where I'm at, and then pop down, right?
Yeah.
It is like super clunky to pull up the map.
That's what you mean is the battle pass, but you don't need cosmetics if you have transmogs. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point. The idea of them having the battle pass, the only reason for them to have the battle pass is just to have the option so that players can buy those things if they want to, and if they do, and they do interact with that store, it then helps them justify further updates to the game. Yeah. Because here's the thing. You have to keep this in mind, and this is something I plan on talking about in a future video at some point. Is that like there is this weird misconception that if people are playing the game, the company is somehow making money. Well, if we've all purchased the game and you have I don't know 4 million players or something crazy like that, right? That's cool. You got your first $70 off of each one of those players, minus all of your fees, taxes, all of your expenses, and everything like that, right? How much you have to pay back your developers all the costs that you incurred making that game, shipping that game in the first place, right? Then after that, what makes you want to continue to support that game then further? There has to be some other income coming in. Otherwise, you're not going to keep pumping out updates for it. And there's not a single game that I can think of that has done that, where they just keep updating the game and giving it more and more content, even though they're still not asking for any more money in any way, shape, or form. I personally, I'm somebody that actually is completely fine with battle passes because it's an optional thing until they make it something that's not optional, where I have to interact with the battle pass. You know what I mean? Where if I don't interact with the battle pass, it's going to somehow ruin my experience or make it where I can't progress my character or something like that. Then it becomes an issue. But as it stands, like having a battle pass in the game does nothing other than allow Blizzard to justify making the game or giving the game more content in the future and continuing to support the game, because you look at it as an investment. We're investing into this game. We made this game, right? Here it is. We made this game for you guys. You're going to play it. And if we're going to invest man hours into it, we also have to convince our investors, the people that invest in Blizzard, we have to convince them that it's worthwhile for us to continue to sink assets into this game. How are we going to do that? Only if that game is constantly and regularly pumping out money. Right?
Well, all games are going to live service. All games are eventually going to, trying to go to live service. But don't get me wrong, they're still going to have single player games. They're still going to have games that just have like DLCs that you can buy and all that stuff. But every company is trying to get like 1 to 2, I'd say actually about 1 to 4 live service games to where they're constantly bringing in revenue off that game. So you brought up the point about you couldn't think of a game that doesn't have a large following or whatever that continues to put out DLC. And the first thing that popped in my mind was the Division 2, right? They still update that game for free, even though people aren't playing it. But now what they're doing with their newest update is the Heartland update that they're doing to it. It's a games as a service, free to play type experience. So everybody is starting to move their assets because, like I said, Division 2 came out 5 years ago, and then so when a game when it falls off with people, generally the DLC falls off too. They just stop making stuff for it. So if you're a person who wants to continue to live in that world and play in that game, you're just kind of SOL of just playing the same thing over and over and over again until 8 months, 9 months, a year later they decide to throw something else in.
I think it also depends on the quality of the content that's being added into the game as well, right? The updates that you're talking about for the Division aren't massive updates. No. There are some, but it's also like the quality and the amount of the content that's in it in the first place, and that's one of the that's one of the things Guru in chat brought up. He's like, just charge yearly for add-ons, $29 or $39 for expansions. You're gonna have just as many people bitching about that as you will a battle pass.
Oh, for sure.
You will have just as many people complaining about that as you would a battle pass. And guess what? The best part is you don't have to interact with the battle pass. You don't have to purchase the battle pass. It's purely cosmetic, and you just get more content because of that battle pass being there. Because other than people like you, there's somebody else that's out there that wants a fancy skin, so they pay that money and they buy that skin to pay for you to play future content and get expansions without paying a single dime. Yep. Meanwhile, or you could instead be forced to pay $29 or $39 to continue to play the game that you already have. That's the point that I'm making. Yeah, I prefer battle passes over paid expansions any day of the week, as long as the battle pass isn't something that I absolutely have to interact with. I want it to be cosmetic only, and I don't want it to have anything to do with my character's progression. As long as that's like that, it is the perfect form of consistent monetization for these companies to have, because there are always people that love skins. And then there's always people like me who don't really give a shit how I look, except for Final Fantasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to give you an example of a company that does it well and a company that does not do it well, okay? First company that does it, I think, the best in the industry is Fortnite. There's a game that does it perfectly with their Battle Pass. It is all cosmetic. It's all cosmetic. You don't have to even touch it at all. You can even earn stuff to unlock the Battle Pass within just playing the game, okay? The game that does it poorly is Warzone. So what they'll do is in their Battle Pass, they'll add a new gun, or they'll add something else that's somewhat busted, right? You can pay your way to get that gun until they nerf it, right?
Yeah.
And so that to me is where it gets wrong when you add in new content. Like if they started like
Diablo,
but it'd be the example of Diablo adding in it'd be like Diablo adding in a bow for the rogue that does has some sweet ass affixes on it. You know what I mean? Something stupid like that.
Yeah, but they're not going to be adding in actual items.
No,
it's the difference between and that's the thing. Like, I am an absolute fan of companies that monetize their game so that they can make future content, but it's not predatory. The minute it goes predatory is when it becomes an issue. And the problem is that the reason why that predatory those predatory actions is such an issue is because gamers as a whole don't really have a whole lot of fucking power or a voice loud enough to be able to actually make, you know, ethical change within government or something like that to get that stuff out of games. We don't have
we're like normal voters. We don't have the willpower by ourselves.
No, and plus
not,
on top
of
that, as much as you would like to be the guy, well, I'm just not going to interact with it. And it's like, that's great. That's your power as a citizen of the world, as a consumer, is to not interact with it, not give them your money. If we could collectively get everybody not to give them money, then it would work, but it never fucking will. Because because there are people that just don't really fucking care. You know what I mean? Exactly. This is the fucking guy. Guy. Everybody, I want you to look at this motherfucker right here, okay? He buys skins. Yep. Oh. He loves buying skins. Look at him. Look at this piece of shit.
I can guarantee you I will be buying skins day one. As a matter of fact, I already pre-bought skins because you bought the
collector's edition. You filthy pig. So anyway, instead of diving into the monetization thing, I plan on making a video eventually where I'm just going to piss off a bunch of people about monetization in video games, especially Diablo, just because it's fun to do. But just because I don't know, I have a different opinion on it. I know technically as it stands, these companies, okay, are profiting insanely off of games, especially if you're looking at a company like Blizzard. Blizzard is going to profit insanely off of the sales of Diablo IV. Why? Because one, they sell it through their own marketplace, which means they do not pay that 30% stipend.
100%.
Well, I mean, like, you still have like legal fees and licensing fees and all that stuff that they have to pay. You still have your appreciation and depreciation and your and all of that stuff, right? But yeah, they don't have to pay a market fee, so they don't have to pay Steam 30% for the sale. They don't have to pay Epic 15 or 10% for the sale. They don't have to pay Xbox probably anything because Xbox is planning on buying them. They'll have to PlayStation. PlayStation will still take 30% or 15% or whatever deal that they work out, right? But at the end of the day, so they're retaining that, and then on top of that, you're not even shipping box discs of this game, are you? I mean, are they? I mean, if they are, then cool. But if not, then it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. So the thing is that like most of your sales are going to come from digital sales anyway, which is going to cut down the sale of you actually having to ship physical boxes. Cutting down the sale of physical boxes saves you a shitload of money. Plus, on top of that, the fact that you're also getting around any type of launcher cuts and stuff like that, they're going to make a shitload of money off this game. It's going to sell like hotcakes. It is. I'm going to say it here. I'm going to say it now. You can fucking clip it and come back to it. This is going to be Blizzard's biggest title of all time.
Oh, and I'll add, you can
sales wise, obviously, like history making would be World of Warcraft, right? But so far as like sales wise, this is going to be the biggest win for Blizzard in a long time. This game is on fire right now. It is so like, if you guys could see the YouTube analytics for like how often people are looking up things related to Diablo 4, it would blow your mind. And the reason why, it's because the layman, the regular dude that usually doesn't even look up stuff about video games, is looking up stuff about Diablo 4. When this is one of those situations, and when everybody says everybody and their mother actually is looking up things on Diablo 4.
Yeah, I have people at work that know that I play video games and like, have you heard of Diablo 4? I'm like, yes, and I just pat them on the head.
You're just like, stay a while and listen.
It's okay. No, another thing that Battle Pass has helped pay for.
I see a soul in search of answers.
Is they help keep servers up and updated and keep the server service going. That's the one thing that it takes a lot of the cost out of these companies. That's where their main cost comes in. It's not just paying their employees to do their job. It's also upkeep of the network and the servers. So when they can bring in extra revenue to take care of that, then more of it goes to the developers. So it's kind of a good deal, I think, personally.
Yeah. So yeah. No. So anyway, moving on from the monetization portion and everything like that, let's actually talk about this developer update. Right. That's the whole point we got in here. I can't believe we're almost 30 minutes in and all we've done is bullshit.
Well,
That's how you.
Welcome to the Just Gaming Podcast.
This is how it goes. Though I feel like week after week, this is now just becoming the Diablo podcast, and it probably will be for a long time.
In all honesty, there's really nothing else going on besides Diablo news. To be honest with you,
yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. So anyway, I thought that the developer update as a whole was really good. I think
it was their best. To be honest with you. It was way better than their last one. Their last one, when they had the guy who had real broken English, was explaining all the changes they made to combat and how it works, was so hard to watch. It was like hard to follow along. It was rough. And this one was pretty good. It was pretty good, and it answered quite a lot, like a lot of the questions I had personally.
What? Like what?
The dungeons, the nightmare part of it. It's not the Fields of Hatred that I had a question about. It was the PvP portion. Like them actually blatantly coming out and saying, yes, it's going to be unfair. If you go in solo into the PvP area, you are going to run into a mob of 4 people and they're going to smoke you. So I like that they just already threw it out there, so you automatically know that, hey, I might want to take a couple buddies with me when I go play PvP. It's not gonna be fair.
Yeah, it's not gonna be balanced, which is the way that it should be. And because and I know there's some people that were complaining about that a little bit, but at the same time, like, you have to understand, like, what do you actually want from these guys? Do you want them to have really balanced PvE, or do you want them to have really balanced PvP? Because it is incredibly difficult to balance for both unless you completely isolate the two. And there's just Diablo is not about PvP. It's there as something for you to add to your enjoyment, and it can be rewarding, but it's not there as the main experience of the game. It is a feature of the game, not the foundation, right? Yeah. And I think it's important to make sure that we're, as consumers and as fans of Diablo, are differentiating the two, that this is a feature of the game, therefore it is not something that they need to necessarily make their main focus. Right.
And I'm hoping that they keep it that way, because one of the games that I do love to play is Destiny 2, and it forces me to play PvP. But I enjoy that. I'm a PvE player. So what happened is they'll get a new gun, they'll go into PvP, find out that it's broken, and they nerf the gun game wide. So now that gun that I worked my tail off to get is not good in PvE when I don't play PvP. So I'm like I said, where you were saying it's hard to separate the two, to do it. So if they keep it separate, I'm okay with that.
And that's what they've done from the beginning, and they said that specifically, that, like, at no point in time during your leveling experience will you be forced to go into the Fields of Misery.
Yeah.
And that's honestly the best way to go about doing it. Keeping it as separate as possible, leaving it there for the people that want to enjoy it and want to dive into it, but also not forcing players to have to interact with it. And that's one of the things, like, somebody had brought up on Twitter, and a bunch of people were also really upset about, was they were like, does that mean if I'm playing hardcore and I go in there and I die, it's permadeath? And they're like, yes, it's permadeath. I'm sorry, if you're dumb enough to walk into the Fields of Misery and you're playing hardcore and some dude ganks you, that's on you. I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean?
I don't, man. I'm so shook about playing hardcore anything anymore. So I don't know if I'm even going to make a hardcore character, to be honest with you.
So Jackie and I were actually playing, we were playing Diablo 3 couch co-op last night. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I showed her all my characters that I have on console. And of my characters is one of my characters called Weezard. And it's when you and I had dual wizards. Yeah. And it's at level 67. And I'm like, we were 3 levels away from max level, and Mark just got fucking deleted.
Yeah.
Absolutely deleted. Oh, that shit was so funny. Everything was like smooth sailing. You and I are just dominating everything. Awesome. Just probably one of the best, most fun playthroughs we've ever had. And then all of a sudden, Mark just gets erased in a moment. Like, he got too far away. Like, usually we were like staying back, and then Mark's like, well, fuck this. And he goes, like, teleports into the middle of them and tries to do an AoE, and he just got fucking annihilated. It happened in an instant. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. So I think it's a great thing that they're keeping a PvP separate, just letting it do its kind of own thing. I think that's the best way to go about doing it. I am interested to see what kind of cosmetics and stuff are going to be available for it.
Yeah, and I like the I'm gonna play it because just it kind of man, it sounds kind of fun. It sounds kind of fun to try to sneak in solo, get try to cleanse your runes like you're supposed to get out. Oh, it seems like it might be kind of fun.
They straight up rip that from the fucking Dark Zone and
dude,
and
that was only good
in the division, right?
That's the only good thing about the division.
The Fields of Misery in Diablo IV is literally the Dark Zone in the division.
Yeah,
literally. It's awesome.
Yeah, so I think the gameplay might be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think
really
so.
Could. As long as well, I guess it would be hard to get more than 4 people, unless you know LFG define another like a group of 8 people.
I don't know,
that want to work together.
Fields of
you know
Hatred,
what I'm saying?
Sorry, I keep saying Fields of Misery. Well, I mean, we do have a Discord, a growing Discord. If you guys have not joined the Discord, there's a link to the Discord down in the description below. Be sure to join it so that we can take over the Fields of Hatred.
Yeah. Be gankers deluxe.
Diablo 4 does have crossplay, Mango. It'll be full for everybody. We all can hop in there and have a great time. I also want to make sure that everybody in chat right now, guys, make sure to join that Discord specifically because I need people to help me kill a Shava. I need people on watch pinging me going, hey, it's up, you need to come do it, because I didn't get the chance to do it last time. They had it on a weird time schedule for a bunch of Discord invite is invalid. I would. Don't do that to me. Is it really?
Anyway,
Jackie, can you link the Discord in the chat, please?
There is news about that too. So there are some people who are not happy that with the Server Slam beta that we're getting in May, your characters from the previous betas are gone. They're deleted. They're done. No more.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I didn't know
no
that
more.
actually.
So there's people that are a little upset about that.
But fuck.
I mean, they're going to be deleted by the time the game starts anyway. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
If you got to level 20, you got your little wolf pack reward.
Yeah.
Now, what people are upset is because the people like you and I that didn't get to fight the world boss, there is a reward for killing the world boss at level 20.
Oh, so the people that killed it before are mad because they have to go back and kill it? Oh my god, dude. Don't be such a baby. People always have to find something to fucking complain about it's just so funny.
And the cool thing about this beta, even though a game goes gold, it's false thinking to think the game is done. Okay, every game still gets updates until it's launched, and then it usually has day 1 updates, right?
Well, I mean, even when the game's released, it's not going to be done.
Yeah. So what I'm hoping for is a lot of these changes that they're making are ready for this beta.
They are.
You know what I mean?
They've already said that actually. They said it in the developer update specifically. They said that the changes, especially the class balance ones, which I think are the really interesting ones, is that there's a bunch of class balance changes that they made for that will be ready for the beta, which means now, guys, Druid's going to do 18 damage.
I only heard it was 17.5. Is it really 18? They really went all out.
Yeah, it's going to be, man, Druid's going to be probably just as strong as probably 2 or 3 Necromancer skeletons.
Yeah.
Which is dude, that's nuts. That's whoa.
Calm down,
it's only going to take you an hour and a half to clear a dungeon, which I think that's crazy. You know what I mean? That's speed, my friend.
Quality of life change right there, buddy.
Quality of life. But so anyway, so yeah, they're gonna have all the class balance changes, which actually does mean that Druid's actually gonna be pretty strong for the beta. So actually, I probably will go and level 1 for real. The last time I just didn't want to do it because it was too bad. It just felt like shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the
this
barb.
time around, I'm gonna be doing Druid and Barbarian rather than Rogue and Sorcerer like I did last time.
Yeah, so I did Sorcerer, Rogue, and Necromancer. I got 3 of them to 20. So I'm going to do the Barb. I don't think I'm going to do the Druid. It just still doesn't entice me. I don't know.
Yeah?
It just doesn't. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to, for them, I'm going to go ahead and I'll do both just because it's the 2 that I didn't dive into nearly enough during the closed and open beta. So those will be the ones that I'm going to do. Just because I'm not really fully sold on exactly what I'm going to be playing at launch. Everybody,
you're gonna be playing Rogue, or you're gonna be playing Rogue.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna make a Rogue. Like Rogue out of probably everything that I played so far in the game, like felt like the absolute best. Don't get me wrong.
So
like, the Sorcerer felt really, really good, but also at the same time, it just felt like too busted.
So you made a video and put it out last week of the characters not in Diablo 4.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what is one character that you would like them to add?
Well, I specifically said I would like to see the Witch Doctor come back.
Is that the one you want? So
I've played a Witch Doctor through almost every season that I've played in Diablo 3. It's my favorite character of all time for the Diablo series because it's so unique in comparison to any classes they've had ever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Fair.
Like it really does have a completely unique play style to everything. I mean, it's kind of close to like the Necromancer, kinda, but not really.
No,
that
not
it's
really.
like that, and it's. I just thought like the themes of it were really cool. I don't know. It just that, and it felt like it fit. And honestly, I brought this up in my video as well. Is that like I'd really like to see them add new classes, new class archetypes, rather than constantly be bringing back old stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was leaning more towards. I'd like to see some newer stuff. Like
yeah, is there anything specific that you?
Man, I was thinking about it
of?
Today. I've been dreaming about you.
I will bring this one up to chat too. Chat, if you guys have any ideas of classes that you would like to see appear in Diablo 4, like new class archetypes, type it in chat. Let us know what you guys are thinking. Go ahead, Mark.
I honestly wish I could get like the last epic Necromancer in there, but there's already a Necromancer. But to where you could be like a Lich or you could be something else. But man, it's hard to say so archetypes are kind of the same, right? Like an assassin's a lot like the rogue, or Amazon kind of feels like it could be in a ranger type class as well. Man, I don't know. Like Paladin, maybe? Like not the Crusader, but maybe like a Smite Paladin. I don't know.
Well, I mean that's not new though. That's old.
Yeah,
right?
It is old.
Because you had the Paladin, we've had the Crusader, and that's kind of. I mean, obviously that's the one that most people probably think should be the one that comes back first. And I even brought that up in the video that I made as well. Is that like I personally think it's the most likely class to return just because it fits into the narrative so well.
Or maybe like a cleric that just it's like an all smiting cleric,
like a priest or something like that. Almost. Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah, I would like that. I would also really like the idea of having somebody that's like a warlock class, something that's like bound to a lesser demon that necessarily isn't on the side of the burning hells, right? Because like, we know that at one point in time back in the day that so far like canonically. There were demons and angels that were living peacefully in Sanctuary.
Yeah, they were making babies.
Yeah, they're making babies. They making them Nephilims. Flipping
Dude,
them
what
Nephilims.
if there was a Nephilim that, because they're all kind of always on the good side. What if there was Nephilim that leaned towards the other side, that went more demon than...
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Like I would like. That's cool. What I'm saying. Like a Nephilim that made a pact with a demon or something like that for power. I think that would be kind of cool. Just more unique class designs and stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool, or something just completely original that we've never even thought of. You know what I mean?
Dark Priest, that's kind of cool. A warlock plus cleric.
Yeah. I'd be interested with something like that. Somebody with a spear for me, so you're just an Amazon. Yeah. Lilith herself. Yeah. Let me just play as Lilith. That sounds great. Yes. Yeah. I just stuff petals down people's throats and then make them fight each other. So yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that they haven't really had any discussion about new classes in the future at all, other than like obviously they commented on the whole Stein thing. But I'm really interested to see how when they actually plan on entertaining the discussion of new classes in the game.
I think they're going to probably save that stuff for expansions and seasonal content, to be honest with you. I'm just hoping they don't tie the new character to a battle pass. Like you have to buy the battle, like you pay for the battle pass, you get the character.
They're never going to do that.
Yeah, I don't want them to sell the character.
They're not going to do that. No, they won't do that.
Okay, we'll do a dollar bet. I'm gonna say we will.
Okay. The funny thing is, one of the first videos, the first video I did on Diablo 4 was specifically about how people have misconceptions about how they're gonna monetize this game, how much they're gonna support this game and stuff going forward. And so far, everything that I said in that video has been fucking true.
Yeah.
I like it's stayed true. There was a bunch of comments on that video that were like, "Oh, you know what? This is gonna age like milk," and I'm like, "Actually, this shit's aging like some fine wine right now, boy. Fine wine." I'd imagine half of those people that were talking shit on that video are the same people that are like, "I'm really excited for Diablo 4." But I mean, so far as the monetization, we'll wait and see. But the thing is like, if this game stays this is okay. My philosophy is this: if the game stays popular as it is right now, and it continues that popularity going forward, and people really enjoy it, and people really enjoy interacting with the game, I think that the monetization will remain holistic. The minute that starts to spike downward is the minute that it becomes no longer holistic, and they try to take whatever money they can get out of it.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
That's true. I'll agree with that. Yeah.
Because if they see, they're like, holy shit, like people are actually buying the battle pass, people are actually buying cosmetics. There's a lot of people playing the game. The game is remaining healthy with all of the work that we're doing. Oh, this is great. But if the game just nosedives, then that's when they're gonna go, wait a minute. Okay, so nobody's interacting. Nobody's playing this game at the end game. Nobody's fucking with it. So then they have the choice of either A, we need to stop and redo everything, or B, we don't do that and we just monetize the fucking shit out of it.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Which they're gonna go B, because that's what Blizzard does. Yeah. Blizzard would go B. So here's the hopes that when this game comes out, it's fucking fantastic, which I think most of us think it's going to be. And it stays that way. I think if the initial content, which from what I've seen so far, especially with the developer update, it does look good. It looks good. I am far more impressed with the Paragon board than I ever thought I would be in the first place.
Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, let's talk about the Paragon board.
Okay.
Now, I like the fact that she said that you can rotate it to pick the path that you want to go up through.
Yeah.
But the verbiage that they used kind of irritated me a little bit. I would say irritated me, kind of gave me pause. Was like, hey, my character's more strength based, so I'm going to turn it this way and go up this. So, like, is that just going to be what it is? Or you're just going to go towards your main, like, wizard? Your sorceress, you're going to do intellect. The other one you're going to do, you know what I mean? Was like, is that the kind of the pathing for it? Is it going to be that basic, or is it going to be a little bit more unique? Do you understand what I'm saying? So, like, what's the point of turning the board if you're only going to go towards your main stat? Does that make sense?
No, because I think the thing is that there's there's other nodes on that board that you're going to want to try to go after first, right? So the thing is that what I've noticed, so you have different rarity of nodes. You have magic nodes, you have rare nodes, you have legendary nodes, right? Yep. And so the thing is that, like, you're rotating the board to make sure that you can go for the specific rare and legendary nodes that you want to go through, right? Plus, on top of that, one of the things that it really wasn't talked about too much, and it's kind of tough for me to find the exact position in the video where they discuss it. I think like right about here. So this is, I believe this is a unique or a legendary node here, or glyph. Sorry, it's a glyph socket, which I think we actually find glyphs and then socket them into the board. This is similar to something they have in
socket.
Socket is such a cool word.
POE.
Yeah, it's from POE. So it's basically jewels from POE. Which is completely fine. But if you notice, these jewels actually have they have requirements. So you actually will have to collect a certain amount of attribute points before getting to that point to be able to activate that glyph and be able to use it in the first place. Once that glyph is usable, it then affects all other areas in the radius that have been purchased, all other glyphs in the radius. And augments those glyphs to do more of whatever it is, right? So as an example, for you to be able to use this glyph that's on screen right now, you have to have purchased 25 dexterity in that radius.
Okay.
And then also, if you see, it says socketed with glyph tactician grants a plus 50% bonus to all rare nodes within range. So like,
Ooh.
yeah. So there's a lot of different interactions with the board in different ways and different directions that you're going to want to go in. And also, you're having to pay attention to what points you're spending, where you're spending those points to make sure that you're maximizing your glyphs, your jewels, all of that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, less pause.
So you're being, yes, exactly. So it's so here's the thing. While I believe that the oh man, how do I say this? Well, I believe the initial leveling, this is such a really, really smart way for them to fucking go with this, is that they have made the game so casually approachable for anybody to want to pick up and play up to max level. And then if you want to keep going and play the end game, well, here's that fucking crazy ass end game that you see in other games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like, it's so smart, because it's like most of your, like, and that's where Path of Exile shits the fucking bed, right? Path of Exile is that fucking crazy end game, and you're level fucking 1. You know what I mean? Like, you have to think about every single choice that you make. You have to have a good build, even to be able to progress and just beat the base game before ever getting to maps or anything like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. However, the thing is, what ends up happening is, because you do that, you end up gatekeeping all of these normal, regular, everyday Joes that just want to play a game and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this to probably ad nauseum, of just with games that you have to literally keep a build on your other screen while you're playing, just to make sure that you're taking the right steps. Like, it's almost playing by numbers, really. Yeah. Honestly, it's what's like, and it's no fun. It takes all the joy out of it.
Yeah, like, I mean, the amount of planning that you have to put forth to actually really enter into a PoE league and like really play the game, it's insane. It is not the game where your normal everyday guy that just wants to play an ARPG and just kick it on the couch, the guy that's not going to look up guides. This is the thing that a lot of people have a really hard time understanding. We look at it as ourselves as like we might not look at ourselves as hardcore gamers. The minute that you go online and you're starting to interact with guides and builds and stuff like that, you're now more hardcore than just about 70% of the rest of the player base.
Yeah, for sure. You're more vested.
Sure. Most people do not go online and look up PoE builds. They just don't do it. That's why most of the people, your regular everyday people, don't interact with PoE like that. That's the reason why Diablo IV is going to fucking smash. Because it's going to be so easy for any regular player to pick up and play all the way up to level 70 or max level. I forgot. 70 is max level, right?
Yeah. No, 100.
100? Okay. They're going to be able to pick up and play all the way to the end game. But once they get to the end game, then it's going to take a little bit more extra thought. And even as it stands, it's still something that I think most people can probably interact with. But there are going to be a lot of really niche areas where you can get in and specialize that you would go in and interact with content creators that are making content for the game, or you are interacting with guides, or you are interacting with that kind of stuff. And that is what's so sick about this. Like, they're doing such a good job at making sure that they're trying to pay attention and they're trying to cater to both audiences. They're not just disregarding the hardcore players. They're not disregarding the casual player. They're trying to make sure that they can try to ride the line the best they possibly can. And I think with how the talent tree is currently set up and the Paragon board, they're doing just that.
Yeah, and the looks like the respec cost isn't going to be as drastic and dramatic as like a PoE is. You know what I mean? So that should help too, especially more casual players.
Yeah, Jawa actually said something in chat right here, and this is actually something that I feel like there's probably a lot of people that are going to end up doing, and I absolutely 100% am going to be doing this myself, which is I'm going to level a character to max, and then I'm going to ignore the end game, and I'm going to go level up another character.
Yeah.
Because we know that season 1 is going to be like right around the corner, right? So like I don't know how invested in the end game I want to be before the first season drops.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's like Diablo 3 to where your Paragon from carries on between your characters, your non-hardcore characters.
Oh, I don't know exactly. Well, I mean, your normal playthrough Paragon will carry. I don't know how they're doing that. I don't think your Paragon points will transfer. I think that's per character.
They haven't said
because it's not. This isn't the normal Paragon system. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. But it's even when you start a new character in Diablo 3, you have to put in your Paragon points each time you start a new character. You know what I mean? You just have an available bank of points.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
I don't know if that's going to be the same.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure. What were some other major points that they made during the developer update? There was a couple other things that I thought were really interesting. Well, they talked generally about the class updates, right? I'm seeing here that they changed stuff with the barbarian, making the barbarian a little bit. I still don't think it depends on how they change enemy behavior, because my issue that I had when I played barbarian at first was that I just didn't like having to chase down enemies, because a lot of bosses at the very beginning, like, they had a lot of movement shit, and I just didn't have a lot of options to be able to move to them, especially with like ground AoE effects and all kinds of other stuff that's going on that limit the amount of battlefield that's available to me. So I don't think that a flat 10% passive damage reduction is going to really help me like overcome movement issues.
Yeah, well, I think Riker said something about being able to use chains and stuff. I guess I don't know if they made the cooldown on them.
Yeah, but the barbs can't hook a boss into them.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's true.
It'd be different if, like, I said this in either in a video or in a podcast, I can't remember. I would really like it if the barbs hook also worked in reverse, where I could hook an enemy towards me, but if the enemy's too large, it hooks me to the enemy. That would be sick as shit.
Yeah, that would be cool. You'd go right into their ground AoE that I like to put right at their feet.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what they changed with those bosses in the dungeons. Like, honestly, like, because they said that they worked them to where it's not as much of a chore as a melee character. But man, it seems like, what else are they gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah, they made obviously for the barbarian too. They buffed whirlwind, made it stronger. However, it does consume more fury, so you can see that they're trying to keep things as balanced as possible. Double swing enhancements. I like the idea of actually creating create combos for skill combos and rotations. I think that's a really cool idea, because they make it where double swing enhancement refunds full fury cost when used if the enemies are stunned or knocked down. So you can stomp and then double swing, and you'll get your fury back, which is pretty sick.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, Lost Ark has a really good combat system because you do combo your abilities.
Yeah, Barb does have the leap, Mickey. Let's see here. Let's see. Druid. Obviously, the weird thing is with the Druid changes that they made, and this is the thing that I don't necessarily really understand, is that they changed like the companion skills. Companion, all ultimates had their cooldowns reduced. Usability improvements made to maul and pulverize. I don't really understand what the usability changes mean. Does that mean like it actually does more damage? Does that mean that you have more movement available to you while you're using those abilities? Using a non-shape-shifting skill will transform the druid back into their human form. I mean, I don't know how much any of that really helps. Like with some of the early game damage that they had.
You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna play the druid. You play the barb on the beta, and we'll compare notes.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, that's fine.
I just I don't understand their changes that they made. Yeah, usability. What does that mean? Does that just mean you're gonna use it now instead of not using it?
No. They just made it usable.
Oh, cool.
I think that's what it is. They just made it usable. So I think I for the most part, I think that they really took a lot of notes in, and they try to balance out the classes as much as they possibly can. I'm really interested to see how balanced it feels at level, up to level 25, because that's also going to bleed over to the later parts of the game as well, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that the druid feels good. I'm hoping Barb kind of already felt decent during the beta. It just needed a little bit more. It just needed a little bit more love. Yeah. Rogue obviously felt fantastic. Sorcerer felt fantastic. Necromancer, honestly, Necromancer only felt good if you were doing Corpse Explosion.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, Necro's busted." It's like, no, Necro was busted if you were using Corpse Explosion.
Yeah,
now that they've nerfed Corpse Explosion, and on top of that, your minions die quicker. I'm really interested to see how Necro feels now. And remember, I brought this up previously. Just because of the nature of the Necromancer, it's one of the most difficult classes for them to be able to keep balanced. It goes back and forth all the time. You know what I mean? It's either too fucking busted or it's too it's too weak.
Yeah, and I toyed around with I think a plague build and a blood build. I tried two different builds because I got legendary drops for both.
Yeah,
and I actually like them better than the minion build, because the minion build just annoyed the crap out of me because I couldn't target my minions. It's kind of pointless to just have them. It literally was like herding cats nonstop, and like even when you attack something, they would still just stay over there.
I don't know if you noticed this, but actually during the developer live update, Riker specifically said, "I don't really like playing passive summoner builds."
Yeah,
where I have passive control. You know what I mean? Where I don't actually have direct control over them. But they didn't even fucking respond to it.
No,
so they don't really give a shit.
They don't give a shit.
No, they don't give a shit. So it is what it is.
Are you shocked that Chain Lightning got nerfed? Anybody? No? Okay.
No, not at all. So decrease the damage of Chain Lightning and reduces its effectiveness against bosses. That kind of sucks.
It does, but I never did get to use that cool fiery snake thing that they always show on their sizzle reel. So
yeah, because I didn't need to hit another button. I didn't need to hit another button. Charge bolt's damage was increased, and the mana to cast it was decreased. That's good. I thought charge bolt was kind of mid when I was using it. I didn't really use it as a builder. I think I used ice bolt or something like that instead.
Yeah.
Decrease the cooldown of incinerate. Decrease the cooldown of incinerate's enhancement bonus. Or enchantment bonus. I'll have to look at that. Firewall now spawns direct underneath the enemy more frequently. That's good. Increased lucky hit chance so they actually kind of like buffed sorcerer, but just nerfed chain lightning.
Yeah,
which I think is fine.
Chain lightning when you go and do a boss.
It's funny that they didn't touch. They didn't even touch Hydra though.
No, they didn't touch Hydra. They didn't touch their ultimate, that Glacier ultimate that you could sit there and just keep spawning in and just annihilating everything.
Yeah.
So like when you're a Sork and you go to fight a boss, you literally just ping pong chain lightning back and forth between them, and he just dies within 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's how the game should play.
So,
yeah, the game was playing as it should. Rogue. and then Rogue, they kind of actually buffed slightly. Other than like they increased the imbuement skills have like had their cooldown increased, so it takes longer. But I mean, it kind of just is what it is for that. You're really not changing you're not like flipping imbuements like that fast. You really just need it for that initial burst. Multiple passive skills also had increased, and then there's subterfuge skills. I can't remember. That's like smoke bomb. I can't remember all the subterfuge skills. I'd actually have to look, but I think Rogue's just going to be filthy. I would imagine, actually, if I take a wild guess, Rogue and Sorcerer are probably still going to be the most filthiest out of the gate.
Yeah, I think Rogue is. Just its mobility alone. It felt like what's the term when you crack one of the monsters? What's the term it uses? I can't remember.
The what?
When you crack a monster, like
you like put vulnerability on them?
Yeah.
Exposed?
No, it's not exposed. I can't remember what it is, but it seems to trigger more often with the Rogue than it does with any other character.
Lucky hit?
No, it's not lucky hit. I can't remember what it's called. But it seemed to trigger a lot more with the Rogue, especially with that 1-2-3 combo that it used. The combo setup that you could select for its specialty. It was pretty neat.
Huh. Okay. So yeah, I think a lot of the class stuff that they did is really good. I have zero complaints about that, about any of that. The dungeon changes. They showed off the dungeon changes. I love the graphic that they used for the dungeon changes. Sad face, sad face, sad face. I have to go off on all these paths. But the nice thing is that what they did is their change is that they just made it where on your path to wherever the boss is, all the stuff that you need to pick up is just on the way, which is sick. This is insane, guys.
Which is good.
Good. This deserves a lot of praise that they saw this was genuinely an issue. They fixed it immediately, and then they also went on top of that to say, hey, this is also an issue that we saw that was going to be in dungeons later on in the game. We went ahead and fixed all that as well.
Yeah, because when we played together, we would literally get to that fork, and you're like, all right, I'm going right, and you go left, and we'd go get our thing, and then meet back in the middle to go fight the boss. You know what I mean? It was
and for people that like may not really understand exactly the changes that they made, there's dead ends. Those dead ends don't have anything. Those dead ends are a choice for you to go down. Everything on the way to the boss is going to be the objectives that you need to clear to open up the boss room. If you want to go off the path, you can, and that's just going to be where there's like treasure chests and stuff like that. If you're looking at this right here, player starts here, goes down the path. Everything should be along the path. I think there was another one that they showed right here as well, right? They showed this one here where like you basically like you start here, then you have to go down this hall, grab this, go all the way back, grab this, go all the way down this hall, go through here. Now you got to go off the path over here to grab this item. Got to go back down here, go grab this one. Now they basically had every single item at a dead end. Now you can very quickly just basically rush towards where the boss room is, which usually has a marker, right?
Yeah.
So as long as you're just following the quest marker, you'll be able to just pick up the available quest items on the way or the things to unlock the doors, and then continue on their path. So I think these are awesome choices. This is a very very smart thing. See, this is a really really good example of what they did, right? So here you had backtracking, right? Empty hallway backtracking, run around. You got to go off the path to get this. Got to go off the path to get this. Got to go off the path to get this. And then they change it to, still sad face. There we go. Then they change it to this, where everything is on the path. Everything is visible on the path. The problem is that like it's kind of hard to scale like what your vision is going to look like. But if you're standing right here, like where my cursor is, you're going to be able to see this objective, and you'll see this objective item and this objective item. They're all within eyesight, so you'll be able to grab those quickly and then move throughout the dungeon along the path to get to the boss, and everything's going to be along the way. Obviously, this is stuff that's like kind of out of context until we're actually able to see it and play it. But it's one of those things we don't actually like. It's hard to explain exactly what they're doing until we actually can play it and interact with it. It's going to be a positive change. You're going to notice it pretty much immediately.
Yeah, and that the server slam is going to be a big. It's going to be a big indication of what's actually changed. I'm looking at how large that guy's thighs are. They are unhealthily large. Look, those are some big thighs. But anyway, so. But yeah, this the beta test will
leave Joe alone. What the fuck's wrong with you? You fucking thick, bully.
Bro. He's thick. This will be a big indicator of if they fixed everything. I mean, there's over 100 and what did I say? There's like 120 plus dungeons.
Yeah.
Throughout the entirety of the game. That's a lot of dungeons to play, which is awesome. But it's also a lot of dungeons to replay.
Yeah,
and that's kind of that loop, and so now them doing this is going to make it a little bit more enjoyable to have to go back and replay that content.
Yeah. So. No, so I think like dungeons are going to be a lot easier, which is really cool. One of the things that we also got to see was a bunch of end game stuff too, right? So I'm trying to skip across to see where they talk about where they talked about nightmare dungeons. Because I wanted to like discuss this a little bit further. I'm not doing a very good job about doing this on the fly.
I've got a spicier take on those.
There it is.
Than I probably should.
Okay, give me your spice.
I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough of a game loop to keep me going. It's basically like, do you remember in Diablo 3 when you could ante up on the greater rifts and for like more rewards, and they would make them a little bit harder, and just adding the same assets into the just harder assets into an older dungeon.
Okay.
And maybe you've got a lightning ball chasing you. I just don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong. For everybody else, it's probably going to be enough. But for me, I don't feel like it's enough.
Okay.
I mean, that's where I'm at.
Then return the game.
I can't. It's not on Steam.
Way to make yourself the most hated person on the channel today. Good job. Good job. So, I think it's great. Personally, I actually have no problem with it. I recognize it. This is the same endgame loop from Path of Exile, though it's a more simplified version of maps from Path of Exile. I'm also really interested to see what else we're going to be able to do, right? It sounds like we're able to craft our own sigils as well, which I think is pretty cool. But I'm really interested to see, like, these all say account bound. So are we going to be able to find sigils that are not account bound that we can trade? That would be really cool. I like being able to trade maps with people, interact with a trading hub like that, where you'll be able to, like, oh man, I'm really looking for a map that, for a specific dungeon, because that dungeon has, I would imagine the reason why you'd want specific keys is because those keys have the chance to drop specific loot.
Specific rarity of loot, yeah.
Is that all it is? It's just rarity?
Yeah. And they also explain the world tiers. So at 3 is when you're going to start really seeing a lot more legendaries drop, and in 4 is when you start seeing the ancestral and uniques drop. So
okay. Ancestral and uniques that are above tier 4 is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're tier 4 and above. Yeah.
Okay.
So the different varieties of Nightmare, which I think is cool that it's not just one, but the different varieties of Nightmare are going to have ultimately different, because you can do an ancestral Nightmare. You can do
I see that. It's actually on the list here on screen. But yeah, it says ancestral Nightmare on the other side there.
Yeah.
I'd have to shrink this, but I can't really do it.
It's the loot rarity.
So that just has to do with the loot rarity. See, my thing is that what I would like to do is I would actually like maps to be able to target specific loot types as well, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I thought they did mention that, like, before we even played the beta, that they mentioned that you would play specific dungeons to get specific gear.
I think, like, by area, like, each zone has loot that has a specific look to it, which I would imagine means that they probably have specific gear that drops in specific zones, right? Like, you can only get this helm if you're in Fractured Peaks or something like that, for instance. Okay. I'm sure there might be a little bit of that, but I don't know. I'm interested to see exactly how this is all going to work out. I know that if you're doing Helltide events specifically, you can target gear slots, so you can earn up currency through Helltides. Spend that Helltide currency on chests that are specifically bracers, chests that are specifically helms, chests that are specifically weapons. Gotcha, so you can do that in Helltide events, but I'm wondering if you are able to target loot through Nightmare dungeons in some way, shape, or form. Because if not, I don't know.
I almost guarantee it probably will be, because that's what will be the benefit of doing them.
Right.
Now, if that's the case, I would be more interested in them.
Yeah, I think there's probably going to be some of that. Like, you're probably going to maybe you do specifically want a certain Nightmare sigil from a specific dungeon.
Maybe it's a specific skin that you can get from
it could be. You know what else it could be too? Is that, like, say there's an affix specific that you're looking for, maybe that you can target affixes. I know there's probably there's 150 dungeons.
Get better rolls.
Yeah.
On affixes.
Yeah, I get better rolls on affixes. I'm also really interested to see exactly what they're going to be doing with the crafting system in the late game too, because it was brought up to them that a lot of players felt like the crafting system was a little bit lackluster.
Yeah.
So I think that they're planning on doing some stuff where they're going to be like growing the crafting system later in the game.
Yeah. That's a good question that let's see. Brandon brought up is he wonders how uniques are going to be. And someone else brought up they hope that they're more like Diablo 1. Like the uniques, I felt like, and I'm just coming from Diablo 3, coming over. I didn't like. They all had a gimmick to them, and it was always some like if you have the full set, it's some sort of busted like plus 4,000% damage, whatever deal. It was basically used to get to your highest greater rifts or yeah. And so I'm hoping that these uniques are a lot more skilled, like specific skill base added onto it instead of just like an overall damage base for one skill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just a cool, like you don't need the whole set to do. You can like pull from each one to actually do something that is kind of unique.
Yeah.
So,
well, the thing is that looking at legendaries as they stand right now,
Lilith is the bird in the game. Yeah,
oh my God.
Lilith is the bird.
So looking at legendaries as they stand right now, a lot of them already have like pretty unique affixes and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm.
Pretty build-defining affixes, right?
Yeah.
Imagine how unique a unique will be. Like I think a unique is going to be like build encompassing. I think uniques are going to be the items that we build around.
That's fair.
Like where legendaries will define it, the build is what our builds are actually sort of rolling around the uniques themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, someone spelt there it is, Tom, ancestral. That's not how it's spelled, and I don't know if you're from Arkansas, but
down.
You got a pretty mouth, boy. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. I'm actually excited about the nightmare system. I'm interested to see exactly where it goes. I don't know what other. I'm more interested in what kind of things that they're going to be doing for seasonal content.
Yeah,
I think season one. I think season one is really going to set the pace for this game. If season one is just, hey, you're gonna earn rewards for all the things that are currently in the game, and that's it. There's no added uniqueness to the season itself. No like seasonal mechanic. Then they're falling flat.
Yeah, and gosh, kind of the way I look at this is good or bad. No matter if that season is good or bad, the first season, they should learn from it. You know what I mean? Like if it's a stinker, learn from it, listen to the community, make some changes. If it's good, build upon it and keep trucking along. So
I think it's GGG. Like the guys that make Path of Exile, they usually sometimes kind of listen to their community. Not always, but sometimes. And you have to make sure that you do a better job at doing that, right? But the thing is that like what makes Path of Exile seasons so unique is that there's always some new seasonal mechanic that is actually genuine. It defines that season, right? Like they have one seasonal mechanic where like you actually go out and you hunt down specific monsters to bring back to have in a menagerie so that you can actually like pick up and fight these monsters in packs in an arena. Really cool, which like as itself, like whether or not you're a fan of Path of Exile or not, that mechanic itself sounds really cool. Like I
forgot all about that. Yeah.
Think about going out in Diablo IV. You have to go to certain areas to hunt down certain monsters. You're hoping for a rare version of a monster to appear, a really difficult version of a monster to appear. Once you kill that monster, you now permanently have it. It goes back to your menagerie, and then at any point you can craft an arena, a fight, a death match in a small area where you're gonna fight all these monsters all at once, and you get rare and unique loot from doing it. Like that's a really cool, very unique thing that you can do inside the game, right? That's the kind of stuff that they need to do. They need to do really, really interesting, unique stuff that you can interact with throughout that season. It shouldn't just be, oh, you can earn different rewards for doing the same things you always do.
Yeah. Wooly seems to be kind of a half glass empty or half glass empty kind of guy.
His whole glass is empty.
He's bone dry.
Bone dry.
Bone dry.
Bone dry. So, what else? Tree of Whispers. They try to talk about they like barely talked about the Tree of Whispers. Let's be honest, dude. Tree of Whispers is literally just the fucking bounty system from Diablo 3. It is nothing else.
Yeah. Now you just have to go specifically to one place to do it instead of just any town. Like you have to go to the tree. So
yeah. So
I mean, it looks cool though.
So how surprised were you that they said they were going to do another beta?
So there was already rumors like 2 or 3 days before this came out that there was going to be another beta. So I wasn't like overly surprised, but I was like, I'm super excited. Like I was surprised, to be honest with you. I mean, hands down, yeah, I'm surprised. I think it's cool that they're going to go try to test their servers one more time to try to get it, better, which is so smart.
This is it's insanely smart.
Throwing up server slam. Here's the thing. I think the people who wanted to play it played it the last open beta. I don't get me wrong. I imagine there's instances of people who they had to work or this or that or whatever. Some stuff happens. Life happens. But I don't know how many more people they're going to get to play this beta. I'm hoping it's a whole huge lot, and I hope the first day we have a hard time getting in. So it's what I want. Because I think when they sell it, it's gonna be like I'm hoping that it's not hard that day, because I think it's gonna be real hard.
You don't want to burn out before the launch. I'm sure there's more people like you. Yeah, I would imagine so. Here's the thing: I played a lot during the betas, but after I played it the one day, I didn't play it after that. I did a 10-hour Diablo stream the one day, right? And then I didn't play it on Saturday or Sunday. I didn't touch it again, because again, I don't want to burn myself out on just playing to level 25 either. Yep. I'm going to be playing this one again, obviously. Like I'd imagine most of us probably will. But I think it's an opportunity for you to be able to try out a different class, one class that you didn't try out previously. I think that's probably the best thing that you can do. Obviously, don't continue to level the same class, otherwise you're really going to feel like you're dragging it out too much. But I think this is a really smart thing for them to do. I was actually genuinely surprised that they were going to drop another beta, and this is actually something that is a testament to how dedicated they are to making sure this game is a success. Not only have they been incredibly transparent with everything, like so far as learnings and issues that they've found in the game, they've been really good about community feedback with this. They've been really, really good with, honestly, just about everything. They've really been listening to the players, and they've been doing a great job at staying like really communicative with the community, right? Like they're constantly on Twitter talking to people, talking about the game, answering questions about the game. They're not answering every question, because obviously that would be ridiculous. But for the most part, they're doing a really good job about making sure that, like, this is the key, dude. How do you have a good game? You talk to the fucking community. You know what the issues are. You realize what they are, and then you fix the problems in the game. Now you're also realizing that, oh shit, the closed beta and the open beta had server issues. Historically, Blizzard games on their day of launch have server issues. What can we do? What could we possibly do to fix that issue? Oh, I don't know. How about we invite everybody to beat the shit out of our servers? Come on, guys. We want to see you crash them. Crash these motherfuckers. Let's go. They need to call up them They need to call up them DDoSers. Hey, DJ DDoS, play that jam.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's super smart. I just, like I said, I'm the hype that I have for this game. I mean, I've already paid $100 for this game, and I've only got to play it twice. So yeah, it's like I'm super ready for this game. Like the beginning of your video, where you're like, the game's already gold.
DDoS. Sorry,
the game's already gold. Can we go ahead and just crank it out? So,
yeah. Well, I mean, you saw my last video. I'm just fucking ready to play it, dude. I just fucking give it to me. Like I have to keep making fucking videos on it just to like talk about it, because like it's all I can fucking think about is wanting to play that goddamn game. Just give it to me.
Yeah, we've talked about it probably the last 3-4 podcasts in a row, and we're still
Yeah.
excited about it.
I guarantee we're probably going to talk
it's
about it on the
crazy.
next. We're probably going to talk about it on the next one again. Actually, and then also just as an all-inclusive thing to finish out at least this portion of the conversation, but they did also include all of the rewards from all of the past betas. So if you did not get the opportunity to earn any of the rewards from the other betas, you will be able to earn those rewards from this beta as well. I think that is
that
awesome.
Wolf backpack is too cute to not get.
I think that is awesome. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, and this is something I have to bring up from our community tab. So I put out a community post today. Whether or not you guys actually interacted with it, we'll find out. Let's see here. Looks like we only got 3 questions. You guys absolutely disappoint me. The only people that we love today is Mango, Wooly, and Gaming Doc. So I posted, I made a community post on YouTube today, and I said, hey, comment on this post with topics or questions that you would like us to discuss on the podcast, realizing that it's probably either going to be about Diablo or whatever else it might be. So I want to do this, and this is going to be something that we're going to do every podcast from now on. We would like to answer some of your questions personally. So you can ask anything about, you guys can ask anything about, I mean, obviously games, really, but yeah, just like
I'm
anything,
an open book.
Yeah, anything you guys want to know, you guys are welcome to ask. That community post is still going, so while I'm answering the 3 questions that are already there, if any of you guys want to go, I don't know, throw another question on there, you can, and then if we get to it, we can get to it. And then so starting off, Wooly asks, with what you've learned from the beta, where do you think the story is going? If a Crusader or Paladin are down the line, will it be a free update or a paid DLC? What would you give to be a fly on the wall of the Blizzard server network during the D4 launch? Yeah. Oh man, that's kind of there's a lot there, Wooly. You asked 3 questions. Who do you think you are? So all right,
okay.
We'll start with the first one. With what you've learned from the beta, where do you think the story is going? Where do I think the story is going for Diablo 4? My theory is that man, I'm gonna be honest with you. There was part of me at the very beginning that thought like Lilith was gonna end up being like a good character, like somebody we end up kind of siding with, right? Because she's against the high heavens and the burning hells, which we are technically against as well, right? Because like, fuck them. Like, they want us dead. Nephilims, like, they want the heroes dead. They don't want us around. We're a danger to them. Specifically, it was brought up before that if a Nephilim, and this is part of the part of the lore for the game, is that the reason why the Nephilims are such a danger, the reason why they limited our power when we first came into existence, is because if a Nephilim chose to be a chaotic character, like they could destroy hell and heaven. Yeah. Without any regard for either. It would only take one turning down the path of darkness for that to end up happening. So we're a threat to both of them. So fuck them, right? And Lilith is one of those people. It's the same way. She's like, I don't want anybody fucking with my children. But then also at the same time, she walks into a church and then makes her children kill one of her own, right? Because technically all these people are of her children, right?
Technically, yes, but they also side with Anarius.
Yeah, but that's siding. That's different than, you know what I mean? That's different than like they're still her children, so she really cares, but it doesn't. I think it's more of like a power thing. So I don't think Lilith is going to be a good person. I think we're going to fight her. However, what I think this is I think this is a return of another Lord of Hell. I think that's what this is. It's one of the other Lords of Hell that's going to be making a return. I think this is orchestrated to cause chaos, to bring the other primes back into existence or something like that.
You think it might be her father?
My father.
I'm kind of with you, except for I think narratively, it looks like they're trying to do a duality for yourself of okay, do I side with Lilith? Do I side with these crazy zealots on the other side of it? So I think there's going to be a lot of narratively bouncing back and forth throughout the game. But I think we're going to end up fighting both. I think that's what's going to boil down to. We're going to end up trying to square Sanctuary off from both. Is what I think.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I don't know, man. Well, yeah, and by the way, just to add into to the comments right now, people in chat, is that no, like it's like a figure of speech, right? Like Inarius and Lilith are the reason why Sanctuary exists.
Yeah.
So the citizens and the denizens of Sanctuary are her children, right? They are of their creation. The Nephilim, the first Nephilim, the first one born of angel and demon is Ratma, which is the first necromancer, right? So like they're also the idea that we could even exist in the first place. So honestly, I don't know where it's gonna go. I know that for a fact that the rest of the primes are gonna show that rear their ugly heads at one point in time. I think every evil is going to make an appearance in some way, shape, or form. Belial, the Lord of Lies.
All I know is I'm super interested in where it's going. That's the one thing I'm looking most forward to when playing this game is the story, which for a Diablo game, at least with 3, you know what I mean, really wasn't that much of a story.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, what's the second part of his question?
The second part of his question is, if the Crusader or Paladin is added down the line, do you think it's going to be a free update or a paid DLC? Paid DLC. I don't think it's going to be included in the Battle Pass. I think it's going to be a paid DLC. They'll do it in a paid expansion.
I bet you $1 is going to be the Battle Pass. So that was my pick.
So you'll need to buy characters.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, you are buying characters. If they're in a paid DLC, you are buying the character, right?
Well, no, I know. But you're not buying the character if you're buying DLC. You know what I mean? Like if I'm buying an expansion, I mean, yes, it's included in it, but you understand what I'm saying, right?
I understand what you're saying. You're not specifically buying just a character. You're not going to go to a screen in the store and see just characters.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think that they're going to be making it where you're going to be buying it inside of the Battle Pass. Maybe they'll make it earnable in the Battle Pass. So you need to play the season to unlock the. I don't even see that, dude. I honestly don't, because they don't even do that in fucking Overwatch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
They don't even do that in Overwatch. So, or do they do that in Overwatch?
I don't know. I haven't played 2. Well, I've played 2, but I didn't do any of the seasonal Battle Pass stuff.
I don't fucking know how that shit works. I don't play a shitty ass game. I'll play a bullshit. Mango says much love from Germany. Much love from America.
Couldn't talk.
Will you cover Starfield or the remake of the Gothic RPG?
Starfield,
yes.
I'm definitely playing. Yes.
Yes. The only reason why we're not covering Starfield is because there's nothing to fucking talk about.
Yeah, the only thing that we could talk about Starfield is possible negative news. And if you haven't noticed, we don't really like doing a whole lot of negative news in general.
Yeah.
So right now I'm anticipating it. I'm looking forward to it. They should be having their own standalone show here pretty soon, so we'll get to see more details on that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be. I'm really excited for Starfield. It's definitely one of my most anticipated titles for the year. It's going to be something that we're going to cover in major. We're going to be covering a lot. We'll make all kinds of content related to the game. I think that we'll end up. We'll end up probably like I'll end up making a video about it. Sometime in June, around the time that they end up doing the developer update.
Yeah.
Just kind of going into like my ideas for the game, what do I think about it, especially its impact on Xbox specifically, because this is the first time that Xbox is releasing a new IP that's actually probably going to be a success.
Yeah.
In probably what feels like 10 years.
10 years.
You know what I mean? So I think it's a big W for Xbox. But they need to make it. But the problem is too is that it's just not really going to prove anything to anybody. Because Starfield was in development before Xbox purchased Bethesda.
Yeah.
So they really haven't had any hand in making this. You know what I mean? I mean, like in a sense they have, but they also haven't at the same time. So, but they're going to be taking all the credit for it.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. This is what Xbox greatness looks like. They're probably gonna say that with World of Warcraft as well.
Yeah.
So good question, Mango. Yeah, we'll definitely be coming to Starfield. Gothic remake. I got a bunch of shit in chat actually when I was streaming the other night, and they're like, "Have you played Gothic? You should play Gothic. You should play Gothic." And I'm like, "Okay, well maybe I'll play it." It's old, I guess. THQ game, Nordic. It's like I think it's like Skyrim or something like that, or like an Elder Scrolls game called Gothic. There's 3 of them.
Okay, I'm pulling it up right now.
I've never played it before. I guess it's supposed to be like German lore. I think, is that right? It's like more like Germanic lore or Germanic fantasy. The music's really good. I'll have to check it out. We'll put that one on the list. Put that one on the list for sure. Let's see here. Why in the fuck are you guys like this? Oh my God. Tom just asked why. Just why? It's a really good question, Tom. It's a really
just
good
because we
question.
can, buddy.
Honestly,
just because we can.
Yeah. How do you feel about buying Diablo IV Battle Pass progression levels with real money? Is there pay to win stuff in it? Some people have the money but no time. There is no paid progression in the Battle Pass. By what I mean by paid progression, I mean there is no character developmental Battle Pass stuff. So Jawa, like if you're thinking like, oh, I need to like, will people be able to spend money to get like gear or fucking what is it, keys and shit like that? Like you're not really gonna have any access to that kind of stuff. And all of the paid rewards are not the XP rewards, because you get bonus XP through the Battle Pass, but none of that stuff is but you can't buy the XP potions. They're not part of the paid part of the Battle Pass. If that makes sense. They're part of the free section of the Battle Pass. So I mean, if you wanted to waste your money and you wanted to buy skips so that you could get to the potions, I mean, sure.
Yeah, that option will be there.
Yeah,
I imagine that option.
I don't really see that but you get there faster. Yeah. What does that mean though? That's the thing that I was like, I'm gonna say this right now. If somebody in a PvE game can progress faster than you, the fuck does it matter? Why does it matter? What does it matter to you? How is it ruining your gameplay experience by doing so? If Mark beats me to level 100, what does that do? What does that do to me? Nothing. I'm chilling. I'm enjoying the game. I'm doing dungeons. I'm doing my thing. If he got there first, okay, is what it is. And then people go, oh, well, what if you're a world first? What if you're trying to chase leaderboards for like first level 100 or something like that? Well, any leaderboard is going to disqualify the use of paid progression anyway.
Yep.
Makes me inferior.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like like Diablo 4 has PvP. Yeah, well, PvP is completely unbalanced, so you're walking in there out of your own risk to begin with anyway.
Yeah.
What does it matter? It's not competitive PvP.
And I don't think you can get to the PvP access until you're a certain level anyway.
Yeah, but you could get there faster if you get XP potions.
And then you'll be the only person there waiting.
Yeah. Oh man, you guys are a fucking trip. Let's see here. Gaming Doc. Who is that actually? It doesn't actually show, it just shows the @ which is usually not their actual screen name. So I don't know if you're in chat or if you're in chat or not. Good luck. My fucking brain just locked up right there. Fucking stun locked. What do you think of the piece of news below? Not seeing it talked about. Great to implement in the late game IMO. This is Games Radar. Do I really fucking trust anything that they talk about?
It's not Windows Central.
It's true. It's also not I'm pretty sure Games Radar is like that's like fan made, right? They're not like, this isn't like an actual.
I think they're an actual.
No.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
I thought they're like Gamer Rant.
No.
Are they not like Gamer Rant?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Blizzard says there's a very long Blizzard says there's a very, very long progression in place beyond level 100 in Nightmare Dungeons, but it doesn't go on forever. Blizzard the article reads Diablo 4 Nightmare Dungeons scale beyond level 100, but Blizzard says there's something of a final boss encounter that is designed to be your character's capstone. In a group interview, Game Radar Plus attendee, Associate Game Director Joe Pipiora confirmed that Nightmare Dungeons will keep getting more challenging even past level 100, but there is a limit to the game's difficulty. Pipiora said that Diablo 4 wasn't designed to endlessly scale with your character, and you'll eventually face a pinnacle boss encounter that tests the limits of even the best level 100 builds. Diablo 4 is not intended to be played forever, so there are creatures that you will continue to fight at a higher level and higher difficulties beyond level 100. But this is the content. But this is content. You'll be kind of pushing yourself to see how far you can take your build, rather than someone trying to reach an endless grind of time that goes beyond level 100. This is pretty standard for most ARPGs. At one point in time, you're going to reach a pinnacle challenge in which, like, that's it, right? Like, you're going to get your gear to the point where you can't get that gear any further, and and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think this is anything necessarily original to Diablo 4.
No, MMOs do this too, where you'll go fight stuff that's higher level than yourself, and that's kind of what you're like. It is fun to go and just trash mobs. It is, right, but you still also want to be challenged too. So, I like the capstone part of it though. I know you have to fight capstone bosses to move your level tier up. So I don't know if that, like, I guess at the end of it, there's just going to be, a boss that you just can't, or you can beat, but it's going to be, skin of your teeth type stuff.
Yeah. So the thing is that, like, from what I understand from most Diablo games specifically is that you're really just farming for the gear specifically, and really that's all you're doing is just farming that gear up to its highest potential that it can go. So if like tier 4 or a specific level or whatever might be the end of that gear's potential power, after that potential power is fulfilled, that's basically it. So, like, just as an example, and this is a really good example to use, is you look at a game like Diablo 3, where, like, once you have your end level set and you get it all ancient, you're done. Right? Ancient Legendary. Once you have Ancient Legendary for all of your shit, you're fucking done. That's it, man. Like, whatever boss that you fight at Torment 12 or 20 or whatever the fuck it ends up at, that's it. There's nothing further to do until you have your gear set perfected. And I think that's probably going to be pretty similar to what's going on with D4.
Yep, and that's what seasonal content's for. You know what I mean? So, to keep the game fresh for you. You may not use that same character, your 100 level character, for the seasonal stuff. You might, depending on what they add into the season, but like game loop wise, that's where it's going to be at. It's going to be seasonal.
Yeah, I don't know for the gems. Yes, you can actually upgrade gems. Remember, they actually showed that off in the Nightmare Dungeons. At the end of the Nightmare Dungeons, your jewels or your what are they called? The glyphs. The glyph system, it's the same thing as the rift system in Diablo 3. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that'll work.
So you're able to upgrade the glyphs that you have from that you use inside of your Paragon board, and you upgrade them using the keys. So yeah, straight up from. There are some things that were interesting from D3. It's not like it was all trash. There were some bad points in D3, but D3 also had a lot of really fun stuff too. Yeah. I've still been playing D3 casually on the side, doing season 28. So, let's see here. What else?
Mango, that cat is the stream killer. That's what that's like. You know how you have Star Killer in the Star Wars universe? Maddie is the stream killer. Yeah.
Yeah, he on multiple occasions he's actually shut down the entire stream by just jumping on the keyboard at the exact right moment. All right. So continuing on, let us touch into some other gaming news outside of Diablo. I think we've tapped out Diablo's ass for the last hour and 45 minutes. So
yes,
we can continue on with something else.
All right. So if you were a hacker and you were doing stuff to Nintendo, what would be the perfect name to have?
Hackerman 5000.
This guy's real name is Gary Bowser. Yep. And he got arrested for making a copy of the original Super Mario Brothers. Well, other stuff too, but the latest one was for a Commodore. So the 40 people who have a Commodore that wants to play a free version of Mario, this guy got punished for it. So, do you want to hear the severity of his crimes?
Yeah, I think it is. What is it? 30% of his income for the rest of his life.
Yeah. So he had to. Let's see. He had to spend 5 months in jail. He had 5 months in jail.
I didn't notice this, but I have like a little sunburn, like right up here on my temple.
Oh, I noticed it. He had to spend 5 months in jail. He got out on good behavior.
So wait, what was his crime again? Sorry.
So basically, he emulates old software
for free.
Yes and no.
Did he profit off of the emulations that he made of somebody else's creation?
Yes. So over the lifetime of doing it, he's made $300,000.
Fucking baller, dude. That's more money than I've made doing anything.
Yeah. So Nintendo is holding his feet. Nintendo and the United States government are holding his feet to the fire, saying that he has to pay back at least $10 million in restitution.
God, how old is he?
He's 50.
He's fucked.
He says he has to pay an additional. The additional 4 point. Actually, it was more. It was 14 total. The 4.5 he doesn't have to pay because he's going back because he be sent back to Canada. Now, for the rest of his working life, he has to pay 25 to 30% of his monthly gross income. That's rough, dude. That's harsh. That's harsh for Super Mario Brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Yeah. But I don't know, dude. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're profiting off of their shit, you're breaking the fucking law.
Yep, you're breaking the law.
You're breaking the fucking law. I don't know what is the punishment harsh? Yes, the punishment is harsh, but you broke the fucking law. You knowledgeably broke the fucking law. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but whatever the punishment is that is laid out in the law, that's what you get. You know what I mean? Now, did Nintendo take it too far? Yes, we can talk about the ethics of how far they took it, but is it justified? I mean, yeah, they're in the fucking right. Yeah. There's no obviously there was no defense because he got hit for it.
He got hit. Oddly enough, Microsoft is involved in this, and you want to know how?
So somebody asked what did he do? He was emulating and pirating Nintendo software and redistributing it for his own personal gain.
Yeah.
That is the best way to frame his crime because that's exactly what it was.
Yep, that's what it was.
He was pirating and emulating Nintendo software and then selling it to other people. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Microsoft... the problem is the gaming community wants to just frame it as, oh, he was emulating. Like, no. He was profiting off of stealing software from another company and selling it as his own.
Yeah, had he not taken a profit, I don't think they would have had this.
No, of course they wouldn't. Otherwise, really good example of this. There are 4 different apps online on the game on the fucking Play Store, Google Play Store, that you can download and play DS games, play Game Boy Advanced games and stuff like that on your phone. Those companies have never been fucking sued because they are not profiting or redistributing any of their software. All it is that they made their own program that allows them to that you could technically emulate Nintendo software off of.
Yep, and that's where Microsoft comes in and with these new consoles, the S and the X, you're able to pay for, I think it's $40 or $20. I think it's $20 to be able to switch your console into developer mode. And developer mode, you can download stuff like RetroArch, throw in emulators and all that kind of stuff, games and ROMs and all that stuff, and be able to play them and play them well. There's actually YouTube videos you can watch where you can play it well, right? Dolphin, for example, is on Steam. Willie brought that up. Anyway, so Microsoft has shut that down to where that you can't even access the app to go into developer mode anymore. They did that on April 6th, but before this news broke on this. So, or for the guy getting out of jail.
Yeah.
So they're just washing their hands of it completely, even though they are in the same spot as Google, to where they just allow you the avenue to play.
Yeah.
They don't want to be involved with it, especially probably after that 10-year deal they just did with them with Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
pretty interesting.
No, it is, and I mean, like, Wooly, like, I see what you're saying. An evil law is it's mere tyranny. I don't know how you like. So, do you think that we should be allowed to steal products from other people and sell them as our own? Is that an evil law? If I steal somebody else's work and then claim it as my own and redistribute it, I think that's something that protects not only. I mean, obviously, it protects large corporations, but it also protects small businesses and inventors themselves, right? That's the reason why copyright law exists. So I mean, like, here's the thing. Obviously, in the public eye, it depends on the extent that you take it all to. You can take it too far, and damning a man to basically live out the rest of his life in poverty, it might be a little bit too far.
Yeah, that's extreme.
It's extreme, but at the same time,
it's not like
how likely do you think people are to try to do that in the future?
Yeah.
I would imagine a lot of the emulation community took a step back and go, you know what, actually, we should probably take that PayPal link off. You know what I mean? And especially because here's the thing, where does that line get drawn? Because a lot of those developers, they take donations. You can donate. Oh, I'm making an emulation software. You can donate to it. You can donate to my Patreon. Isn't that technically profiting off of the redistribution of trade secrets?
No, they're investing.
Right.
Profiting.
Oh, yeah. So, it's the other problem is that I watched Asmongold do a reaction to a lot of the controversy that's going on with this whole Nintendo thing, and something that he brought up, and this is a really good example is that, like, especially with these Japanese companies or just international companies in general, like the American community engagement is always really difficult because, like, things just aren't translated the same way. Like, yes, there is Nintendo Interactive Entertainment America, but, like, they're beholden to Nintendo in Japan, right? So, like, I think there's a lot of problems with the avenues of communication as well.
And Nintendo is by far the strictest of any of these companies with striking content creators. Anybody on YouTube, Twitch, or whatever, they don't like their product to be shown like that. They just don't.
No.
At all.
No. Fuck. Nintendo doesn't even want you to... if you actually look at, like, Nintendo's terms of service, you're not even allowed to stream their fucking games.
Yeah, it's insane.
Obviously,
really.
Obviously they have another blanket that goes over that does allow you to be able to stream games and stuff like that. But yeah, no, for the most part, like, no, they don't want their games represented like that. They want to try to fight piracy as much as they possibly can, and for good reason. But and Kennedy brings it up exactly the right way, which is that it's not necessarily, he definitely did the crime, but does the punishment fit the crime? And in this case, it doesn't.
I don't think so.
Honestly, what it looks like is that the motion that they ended up going for is one that is of an extreme punishment because they don't want this to ever become a problem again. And then also on top of that, the thing is that, like, the punishment actually feels like this, if this is a company that was profiting off of the redistribution of Nintendo products, right? So that's my other question too, and I wonder if that's why. If he wasn't doing it if he did it under the guise of a company, if he had started a company that was redistributing Nintendo's property, rather than it's just
it is a company. That's why
he got hit this hard.
That's why he got hit this hard.
That's why he got hit this hard. If he would have just done it as a person, it's like if it was me and I'm sitting here like fucking Hackerman 5000 and I'm giving people, you know, Breath of the Wilds for free and all that stuff, right? Like or not for free, but like people are paying me for Breath of the Wild and all that stuff. Like, yeah, at that point, like you're probably going to get a lesser charge because you're just one person. But if you're doing it under the guise of a company, which by the way gives you tax breaks and a bunch of other different things that you shouldn't have access to, especially when you're redistributing somebody else's property, then obviously that's gonna up the amount of the amount of the punishment. So
yes, he considered himself to be the salesman of the company. He admitted all of this in court. It's not like he didn't know.
No. He laid down. Yeah, he laid down.
He knew what he was doing was illegal. Which brings me to our next topic.
But yeah, so it's one of those things where like I'd really rather try to make sure that like people understand like you have to follow the law, and we can't look at the law and be like, oh well, you know, we can say the law is bullshit. Well, then you need to go and fucking vote against it. You need to find some local politician that actually gives a fuck about video games and emulation.
I have a strong conviction towards. I think emulation should be available for certain stuff. For certain, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of video game history that my grandkids are never going to know about. That, you know, just because there's no possible. I mean, some of these games are 40 years old. You know what I mean? It's just it's not possible, and that should be historically. I think honestly, I consider video games to be art, and it should be something that is conserved. It just should be.
Yeah.
And them, like, so when there's emulators, or when I say emulators, I'm not talking about like the actual program. I'm talking about the people who do it that are of that mindset, and that's why they're doing it, and they usually do it for free, right? Because they just want the game to be out there for people to be able to enjoy. Like these guys, they were running a business. They made total, I think it's like $320,000 total off of the deal in 7 years of doing it. But like it needs to happen. There needs to have that conversation with these companies to say, hey, you need to put these games need to be available somewhere. I mean, it's kind of hard to make people do that. Like, hey, you need to give us your product.
Yeah.
Like they could go through and resell that product though. You know what I'm saying? They really could put out ROMs and sell them for $2 a piece, and people would buy them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think the reason why they're not doing that is because they want to make remakes.
Well, they want to do remakes, and then you have to start paying for servers to store it on for people to download, right?
Yeah.
So there's a cost to it. I'm not saying there's not a cost to it, but there needs to be some of that stuff, because some of the source code for some of these games is gone. It's lost nowhere. Yeah. No one has it, so it's gone. So
So like the punishment obviously doesn't fit the crime in this case. I don't know why. I don't know. It's a really rough thing. But now also on top of that, you're seeing Nintendo start to lash out at content creators too. Did you see that guy where they issued two strikes to his channel?
Yeah.
For streaming modded Breath of the Wild content. So and the thing is with that is like we also have to have the discussion of how much freedom do we have with the products that we own. And what we have to realize is, and this is something that's going to become a serious problem down the road. And this is definitely something where I'm like, holy fuck, dude. I really wish some like some level-headed fucking millennials try to get into fucking office so that we have people that understand video game law or try to get into like regulating video games a little bit better, because we are losing our rights quickly with video games, like in a really, really bad way. Where like, especially because of live service titles, a lot of stuff is always online. Like eventually we don't even actually own the actual products we're buying anymore. We just own the rights to have access to it until that access is then revoked. And that's not good. Right? Not only from the preservation of video game side, but just for in general, right? Like, because we're as consumers, we have less and less freedom than we did with our games 10 years ago. And that's not a good thing. That's a really bad thing. And and it's something that we desperately need to look at now because it's only going to get worse in the next 10 years. In the next 10 years from now.
Well,
so
it's already here. I mean, like with Call of Duty, for instance, Modern Warfare 2 came out, the remake. If you went and bought a physical disc, that disc holds 4 megabytes, and it's an instant download. So if they shut the servers down, you still don't own that game. You understand what I'm saying? You couldn't even play it offline or whatever because you couldn't re-download the game.
Yeah,
because it's not there. It's not there anymore. So we've already gotten to the point to where that's kind of where things are at. And there's horror stories of so many games shutting down their servers after just a year or two. You know what I mean? Because the game wasn't that successful. Well, what about all the people who did buy it? Now they're out because the game wasn't didn't do that well. It's not really. It's just gotten to the point where it's just going to get scary, and it's going to end up.
You know what the funny thing is? You know where this started, and people didn't even really notice it. It started with cell phones.
Yeah, like you have no reason to go get another phone next year.
Like you have to think about it. Like the minute, say back in the day, like we used to be able to just go buy a battery for a phone, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they sealed the phones, and then if you break that seal, well, now your phone's out of warranty. You have no option to change the battery. If you want to change the battery, you have to send it in to us and all this other shit. Like it's such bullshit. Such bullshit. Like as consumers, we are constantly losing our rights to the products and the things that we buy, and it's fucking bullshit. The reason why I specifically said level-headed millennials is it's level-headed people that have grown up in the age of the internet, because we're the only ones that actually fucking understand it. Especially in the U.S. I don't know this is different for other countries, but especially in the U.S., our heads of state have no fucking idea what the internet is. They don't even know what the word meme means. They don't even know. Like they're pretty sure that meme is.
Did you see that meme?
Yeah, they're pretty sure meme is the same thing that infects their brain through 5G. They're a bunch of fucking morons. They're so fucking stupid. It drives me crazy. So it's just one of those things. Like it's just like the age of people that grew up in the age of the internet are the people that really need to be leading head of state anymore, because like they just don't. The people that are in office right now, for just as an example, and this isn't like some like we're not gonna go down the AI fucking conspiracy bullshit right now. No, all I'm saying is that the people that are in office right now don't even fucking know what AI even stands for.
My generation's next.
Yeah,
they're coming in.
Yeah. So the problem with that is that there's a lot of dangers, a lot of societal dangers that come along with our current progress right now, and it is real fucked up. It's fucked up. So, but it's also really cool at the same time, because we're gonna get some really cool video games that we're just probably gonna end up living inside the Matrix.
Just plugging your neck in.
Right into your butthole.
Hold on.
Oh shit. So okay, so do you know what? Speaking of copyright,
yeah.
What do you think? What do you guys think about the fact that Iron Mace, their lawyers have sent a letter to Steam asking to be reinstated back onto the Steam network because Nexon is big bully. Iron Mace just a big bully.
Now, I will not downplay it. They do have some good points in this. They do have some good points. But them still like giving good points and then also playing like we're just a little guy and they're just picking on us. They're trying to put us out of business.
No. Like it's not we're just a little guy. They're not just playing that. What they're actually playing is we're David. Focus, camera. We're David. They're Goliath. Help us fight them. And the best part is. The best part about this is that like not only the copium and the hopium that's going on inside of the dark and darker community that is just honestly sickening, but it's the oh my god, it's the fact that they would think to approach Steam about this and say, oh yes, we're gonna ignore this DMCA, which would then put Steam in direct violation with the government so far as their safe harbor laws, right? And then we're going to side with this one company that's never made a game before with this other company that has tons of games on our platform, this multi-billion-dollar company. No, you're right. You know what? We're going to completely ignore that DMCA. We're going to completely ignore that you guys are in court right now and put your one game back on here so you can do alpha tests. What are you doing? Handle your do your laundry. Eat your fucking dinner, Tina. Like, take care of your business first before constantly going in, because the only thing that you're doing is just making yourself look fucking worse right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you one of their claims. Okay, I'm
gonna let you go on with it because I got to feed the cat. He's being like, he's fucking flipping out right now.
All right, so this is from the letter that they sent to Steam. Nexon claims to have created unique concepts, genre, plot, storyline, characters, and plans for the game, almost none of which is subject to copyright protection. While the actual expression of plot, storyline, and characters certainly may be protectable, copyright doesn't protect concepts, genres, or plans. So, I mean, they kind of have a point, but at the same time, I mean, if you watch our last podcast, we kind of went in deep on this. They know they're in the wrong. I mean, they know they're in the wrong. And this letter right here, it just doesn't do a whole lot to help them, because they do start out with, Nexon's claim against us is basically them trying to shut down a large company trying to shut down an indie developer. And that's the verbiage that they used. And so they're trying to rally the troops to try to do this. But yeah, it would be immensely insane if Steam would bring this back. Like, just knowing, it's like if they did something with, gun laws or something, and then Walmart's like, yeah, we're going to sell these guns anyway. It's not going to fly. They saying that, they also said that the former employee, Ju-Yun Cho, who Nexon apparently alleges is the person who actually misappropriated the trade secrets. He was the guy that copied the stuff to his server. They're like I said, they're not innocent. This guy copied the stuff to his home server to do this, brought people from his team from there, started a new company. But they do have a good point. Like, you can't copyright genre.
Yeah, so the thing is that, like, I've gone through the court documents for the most part, like a lot of the court documents. Nexon 100% does have claims in there that are fucking just like something that's not really going to be anything that, like, it's not they're not difficult to defend. They're terrible points. There's some of the points that they make in there are just not very good ones. However, the couple things that are in there, that there are some really strong points and then some really weak points. A weak point is, well, they have barbarians and they have knights and they have a wizard, and it's like, yeah, okay, there's like fucking 500 other games that have that. Do you want to go after them too? You know what I mean? Like, but what their point is that the actual design of this game, the level design, the lighting, the characters, everything was all things that these guys were working on for Nexon. For Nexon. And then
I've got Nexon at home.
And then 20 people, I think it's 20 people, and then 20 people out of that team that was working for Nexon all quit. They were all working on the same game, went and started a new company making a game that looks just fucking like it. That's the crux of that's the main talking point that is in that thing. The problem is that people want to go through it letter by letter, which is obviously what the courts have to do anyway. So, like, when you isolate some of those points by themselves, they may not be as strong. But when you tie them all together, especially when they're saying, hey, one of the major issues that we have is that we believe that they have stolen code, which they have proof that code was taken from Nexon without authorization.
Yeah.
Without authorization. They have proof that happened. Now they just have to find the actual code itself. And I guarantee, if you look at the game file, when they are able to do the forensics on the game code that currently exists, they're going to find some similarities.
Yeah, they are. And yes, Mickey, Nexon could tie it up in litigation for years. They could.
Yes, and that's the other thing too. And this is the reason why it's like I don't understand why Iron Mace isn't just taking the position that they should and just say like, you know what it is, because the reason why Iron Mace won't just come forward about like, dude, it's okay, man. We know that you guys were making the game at this company. You guys really believed in it. You were fucking passionate about it. You wanted to make it. Nexon, you guys fucked it up. The reason why it fell apart, the reason why what it is, you guys are working out for Nexon. You said, fuck this. We should go take this and go make this for ourselves because this is going to be a fucking insane game. Nexon doesn't deserve this game. So then you guys purposefully sink the fucking game, go start your own fucking company, make the game, and then you were going to get fucking rich off of it and be really popular and the gaming community was going to fucking love you. Sounds sick. You sound like fucking pirates to me. That sounds like the pirate life to me.
Mind you, that's after Nexon dumping $800,000 into it.
Yeah, and that's the other main part of the conversation, right? Like the fact that these dudes have been able to develop this game at such an incredible pace, like unbelievably fast. Compare this game to a game like Valheim or anything else that we've seen that have been like small developers putting the game together, or putting new games together that have been incredibly popular. This game is getting put together at lightning speed. See you later, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
this game has been put together at lightning speed, which tells us that they had something.
McDonald's speed. Yeah.
Yes, which tells us that they already had the framework for this game already ready, and it's really easy for them to be able to kind of pick and paste and put this thing together. But also at the same time, this is something that I'd really like people to think about. So Dark and Darker did Alpha Playtest 5, disregarding the DMCA. Did it through private servers, right? I don't know who they use for the private servers, but they do it through private servers. You have to use a torrent to be able to download it. They try to share the torrent key. Twitter makes them take it down. Discord makes them take it down. Basically everywhere made them take it down. You had to get it through some other kind of area to be able to pick it up, right? So they go ahead and they put that out. They talk about their learnings afterwards, and they talk about, oh yeah, we're gonna have to really work on the whole fact that we had cheaters and we had hackers and we had these network issues and stuff, and it's just like, why are you wasting resources on how to play this game online through pirated resource through they're not pirating, but you get what I'm saying, right? Why are you focusing your resources on network stability outside of the actual way, that you're going to have this game playable, right? Because if you honestly think that this game is going to be released on Steam, then you're going to be using either AWS or you're going to be using Steam's servers, right? So if you think that's what you're going to do and you guys are actually in the right and this game is actually going to come out, why the fuck are you wasting your resources figuring out how to fix those issues, those hacker issues and those networking issues on a off-network basis? That doesn't sound right. You know what I mean? That sounds to me like you're putting resources in the wrong positions. Why are you putting resources in the wrong positions? Because you guys don't know what you're doing. If you guys don't know what you're doing, how the fuck do you have this game already put together this well?
Yeah. Like it's pretty damning. You know what I mean? And like Wooly mentions it. It turned from tragedy to comedy real quick. And it's a damn shame. It's a fun game.
I love the game.
It could be a fantastic game.
I love the game.
It's not theirs. And to answer Mickey's question, because we've kind of covered this a little bit. The only way that I see this game actually coming out, is if they have to give Nexon probably 75% of the royalties. To be honest with you, and that's if Nexon even agrees to it, because Nexon's such a big company that they don't need this game. They don't.
No, they'll sink it just out of spite.
Yeah,
and then guess what's going to happen? another company, a larger company with more resources, will see the drama and go, I guess we'll make one of these.
We are all hyped for Diablo 4. All of us.
It's all, honestly, the only reason we're talking about something else right now is to try to get ourselves away from talking about Diablo 4. Because it literally, we just had an hour and a half conversation about Diablo 4. But yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting thing because, like, obviously, like, I've kept up with the I've kept up with the Discord. Sorry, not the Discord. I've kept up with the Reddit for the Dark and Darker community just because it's interesting, right? And it's just, dude, it's wild the amount of hope and cope that is, like, prevalent within that community to the point that it's, like, actually kind of fucking toxic. It's not kind of, it is fucking toxic. And it makes me worried that, like, if Iron Mace, like, throws up anything for people to, like, donate to help them with their fucking legal fees or something, like, I feel like you're being fucking rug pulled at that point because they're not going to win.
No.
They're not going to win. You're literally just throwing it away because you believe that these guys are heroes. You believe, like, and that's the weird thing. Like, do any of us ever think that corporations or companies are heroes? No.
Yeah, they are definitely out for my best interest.
If Dark and Darker and Diablo 3 were both fully released the same day, which one would you play? Diablo. Every fucking day. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have a lot of fun with Dark and Darker. Like, it's some of the funniest moments in games that I've probably ever had with my friends. It's an absolute blast to play as, like, a co-op experience. But yeah. It's
that itch is there.
Yeah, the itch is there.
Some other games try to scratch it, and they kind of do, but then it just turns into a rash, and it really itches, and I need some Diablo 4 cream. So, oh, I got rashes. So,
what the fuck?
Some of the stuff that falls out of my mouth, I love it.
Apparently, it's Diablo 4 cream.
It is Diablo 4. I'm gonna name my character Cream when I get the game.
Oh man. So what are you going to be playing up until the release of Diablo 4? Because actually that's really at the point that we're at right now. There's really nothing else in gaming news or like gaming in general that I'm super interested in outside of Diablo and
it's like Diablo. I know you're waiting on Final Fantasy 16. Baldur's Gate I still think is going to be game of the year, but what I'm playing up until Diablo is indie games, playing small indie games.
Yeah,
they're all good.
Maybe I'll stream a little bit of it today. I don't know. I kind of want to learn it a little bit more. I want to kind of play Mortal Sin on stream, so people can take a look at it. It's pretty cool. Another indie game. It's a first-person roguelite. It's cool. It reminds me of like what is it? Reminds me of like
Doom.
Berserk.
Or Berserk, yeah.
Yeah, like the art style and stuff. Like it just reminds me of like Berserk. So it's really cool. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I don't know. The weeb in me sees that Honkai Star Rail is coming out, and I'm actually kind of interested in it. And don't get me wrong, dude, Genshin Impact is a good game. If you don't think it's a game,
no, I just
take a walk.
I'm not saying
I don't like gacha, but I am interested in Honkai Star Rail. I watched a couple people play the closed beta for it and it looked pretty cool.
You're like that addict that keeps walking by the methadone clinic. You're like, you know what? Got any more of that gotcha, Joe Rogan?
Let me get some more of them gotchas. Yeah, that waifu addiction is for real. I'm trying to see if there's anything in like recent gaming news that we're seeing. Are you gonna play Dead Island 2?
No, and I've got a very good reason why.
Go ahead.
Okay, so This game, I watch Digital Foundry. I like Digital Foundry a lot because they'll break down games, and I'm not a graphics snob or anything like that. But what they do is they'll describe or they'll in detail give you where the game started, what it's specifically built for, that type of deal.
Yeah.
Dead Island 2 was announced in 2014. Okay, it's changed developers twice.
Yeah.
2 times.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was built for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. That's what the game was built for. So that's the scope of the game, was built for those two. So on your newer console games and even on PC, you're still playing on the size scale of what an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4 can do. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yep.
So you've changed how big your map is. You've changed how big all that other stuff is. Instead of scaling backward. And after watching it, the gameplay looks kind of fun, but I'm just gonna have to pass. Man, it's 2013.
Yeah.
It's 2013 again.
I mean, it's reviewing pretty decently.
Yeah, it is.
It's reviewing pretty. I mean, 75s. It's kind of like, I mean, it's like a mid. It's just like a fucking AA game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a AA game. It's not. It's like, it's good. It's probably like fun for a couple playthroughs and be done with it. I think I watched Shroud played it for a little bit and it looked pretty cool. I mean, like graphically, it looks fucking great, and the melee animations and stuff like that seem pretty cool too. Is it on Game Pass?
I don't think so.
That's too bad.
If it's on Game Pass, I will.
Yeah,
no,
if it's
I
on
did
Game
see
Pass, I play the show.
They added a cool physics mechanic that you can literally, wherever you hit a body, it's going to tear flesh from. You can start from a full corpse to all the way down to its skeleton, which is super cool. Like you can literally
I saw it. I saw
beat the meat off of that.
I saw
skeleton.
Dave Jaffe on fucking Twitter post a thing of him like cutting up corpses, and he's like, "I love cutting bodies," and I'm like, "Oh, dude, you're fucking weird."
He is the dude. Is.
I'm like, dude, you're fucking weird. Just stop. So
Caustic, me too, buddy. That's all I ever cry about now.
Yeah.
Why did you plan for the consoles?
Yeah. If they would just stop playing, if they would just stop playing or planning games for the console and plan it for me first, that'd be great. When does Jedi Survivor come out?
Pretty soon. I think it's either the beginning of May or the end of April. It's right around the corner. EA did a thing on it, by the way, and it looks super dope. And I'm gonna play that. I forgot all about it. Thank you.
Should I play the first one? Do I have to play the first one?
You don't have to, but you should.
I don't have to, but I should. Okay, so maybe I'll play that. Maybe I'll play that. I don't know if I'll stream it though.
Actually,
I don't know
you know what?
like
I'm not gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if you have to play it or not because it does have a story. So
it does have the same character, right? Yeah, it's the same, and it's the same guy. So
it's a continue. So I would play it. Yeah,
oh, it comes out this week. Mango says. Mango's on it. Mango's on it. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe I got, there's a few things I got to finish. Resident Evil 4. I'm doing that one off stream. I'm doing that one on me because I just want to experience the game and enjoy it. I'll probably finish out the rest of my playthrough of Last Epoch on stream, and then I'll just pick something at random that I just want to just kind of blaze out real quick and just burn out and get done and get a solid, so I can just play something else to try to get over the fact that I'm
cleanse the palate.
I'm fiending for fucking Diablo 4. I think I might actually do instead is I might end up actually playing. I need to do a full run of Diablo 2 as well.
Good gravy.
What?
You're gonna be Diablo'd out.
Diablo'd me.
You're gonna be Diablo'd out.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. I've been constantly like flipping through my Steam library, just like, okay, we need to check this off the box. We need to check this box. We need to check this box. We still need to go in and pop in Returnal at some point in time and actually try out that tower.
Yeah, that tower's pretty fun.
Returnal
is so rage-inducing for me.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. It definitely can be. I've seen that they did a major update recently, so I don't know what that patch is about. They said
probably
small
the one that doesn't
update,
make my
but it was
shit
like
crash.
But it was like 3 gigs or something like that. So they're like,
that is a small update nowadays. Games are 100 gigs, so
that is actually true. Yes, for sure. I have an HDMI cord coming in, so I can play my PC games on my TV now.
Oh, nice. How long is it?
15 feet.
15 feet. All right.
15 foot.
Okay.
Yeah. So it should be able to reach to my living room TV. I'm hoping. Plus, on top of that, doesn't Steam actually have like a TV version?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a console version. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can flip to that, and I'll try to. There's a couple like couch RPGs that I want to play. Tales. I want to Tales and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I just don't like playing those kind of. I don't know about you guys in chat, but I don't like playing like turn-based or like traditional Eastern RPGs or what else? Like, yeah, just those kind of games. Like, there's certain games that I would just rather play on the couch. Like, I just don't like playing it on like sitting at my computer screen. First-person shooters, MMOs, ARPGs for the most part, kind of want to play them at my computer. The other ones, I just want to sit back on the couch, click my my recliner up, and just vibe.
Yeah, I don't like playing CRPGs with the controller. So
CRPGs. Oh, well,
Yeah.
do you know what the funny? So we started a new run of Divinity Original Sin 2. And originally, the first time that we played it, it was annoying as shit to play on the couch. You know what? It was because we were trying to control 4 players.
Oh.
So when we said, oh well, I'm like, why don't we just try to do a lone wolf?
Yep, just the two of you.
Just the two of us doing lone wolf, which would be much easier to control. I control my character, you control your character, and then that's it. Now we are absolutely dominating.
Yeah, the game's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm doing a necromancer build. Or not necromancer. I'm doing a dark knight, like melee.
That's
Melee
one
dark
I haven't
knight.
done.
Like blood warrior, basically.
Yeah.
I'm doing like a blood warrior build. So that's been pretty fun so far. So we're gonna see how that goes. It's way better. It's way
what's
better.
Jackie playing?
What are you playing? Something physical as well. Oh, polymorph.
Oh, really?
Full poly build. Yeah, that's something I've never done either. Tentacle. She's saying tentacle. That was the first thing she saw. She's like, "Oh, I can have tentacles." I'm like, "Yes, perfect." She's like, "Oh God,
sign me up."
Oh God. Let's see here. Yeah, I hope we get a Dark Knight or Paladin in Diablo 4. Yes, for sure. I would actually really like to see that.
We had talked about maybe a Dark Priest too. That'd be really super dope and interesting.
Yes, I would like that as well. Square Enix is remastering Final Fantasy
8
and 9.
I gotta check all them eyes.
Yeah, I'm like, how many eyes is that? 8 and 9. 9's awesome. 8's probably my favorite out of the whole franchise. Outside of 14, like I don't like 14 is a thing in itself, right? It sits over here in a box.
Oh, speaking of which, if you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord. But in the general chat, I put in a link to a podcast. It's got a developer from CD Projekt Red that worked on Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk, a developer from Obsidian, one from BioWare, and I think there's one more. But it's probably some of the coolest RPG game talk that you'll ever hear. Like, they're just sitting there talking, asking questions of how they did stuff and where they think RPGs are going. It's super, super dope. So if you want to check it out, check it out.
Sick.
It's in the general chat.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you did send me that. And I was listening to it for a minute and I'm like, why? But like, you didn't give me any reason to listen to it. So it was like I was supposed to be listening to it specifically. I just haven't had the chance to like fire it on and listen to it.
Well, there's the interesting topic in there that they had come up that they ran into was they are basically hitting a wall with RPGs and storytelling in general. They're just
like running into the same loop. We're fighting a dragon. We're fighting a dark lord.
Yeah. They just hit this kind of wall, and it's just a super, super cool podcast to listen to. So
you know the thing is, like, why aren't they like? I would really like to see them like take after the Japanese with this, and like for these RPGs, like actually like go in the direction of just like these like super like, well, I mean, they're not really original stories anymore, but like almost like reverse isekai or something like that. Like I would like to see like imagine playing a character that like, I don't know, your dark evil lord ends up going to like current day or something like that. and then now you have to fight against them.
They also talked about, which is cool, working on how to work out, because they want to implement procedural generated stories.
Yes, you're going to start seeing that. Well, so like my video on AI that I did specifically, that's exactly what I was kind of diving into and I was talking about. Oh, actually, you know what? Something else that I saw recently that really hasn't come up. There hasn't been a lot of information around it. Is that new MMO that Blizzard's working on? They're working on a new survival MMO. Was
that the one that
Force Gaming did a video on it just recently?
Oh, Force Gaming, okay.
Yeah, Force Gaming did a video on it recently, and it was just kind of like some slight details and stuff like that. But from a lot of the things that they said, it sounds like it's going to be like a survival MMO more than it is going to be like. There's a lot of MMO trimmings. And the thing is that even when they were hiring for the positions for the game, specifically the director they're looking for, when they're hiring for the director position, was for a new MMO IP. Yeah. And here's the thing. I am of the mind Blizzard needs to start making new games. Because Blizzard does make really good games.
They do.
But they need to make new games.
Yeah.
Well, because they only really have, what, 4 or 5 games that they keep making?
Yeah, and they've relegated those to live service games. Overwatch 2, Diablo IV
StarCraft, Warcraft, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, and then they killed Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. You are super salty.
No, I'm just saying they did.
Like, every time we talk about their games, you always bring up that they killed Heroes of the Storm.
Well, yeah, because it was like the perfect casual players MOBA, and they just didn't support it enough.
Yeah.
They killed it themselves, honestly, is what it was. They just didn't support it enough.
You don't think Dota and League?
Those were already out at the time. Heroes of the Storm came out. Yeah. Well, the thing is that they put it on the scale of it needs to be as popular as those, and it didn't need to be. It just needed to exist within its own market. The problem is, like, you can't immediately look at the MOBA genre and be like, no, our game has to be the top, and if it's not the top, then it can't exist anymore.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, if you ain't first, you're last, Ricky Bobby. So, yeah, it's one of those things. Riot's MMO is probably like 8 years away. As much fun as it is to imagine what it's going to be like, which, by the way, I've actually really liked the way that Riot has been constantly putting out like new games in their universe, right? They just put out Asmon's been playing it. I forgot what the fuck it's called. It's with like the chained guy. He has like chains on his wrists that he whips. He's not Kratos. boy. But it's cool how they're like expanding their universe through other games and other genres. I think it's a really interesting thing to do. It's an interesting tactic. I think it's going to be, yeah. We'll most of us will be very old by the time that MMO gets released, and then it'll be all the hype.
I feel still attacked there.
Yeah,
like most of us, meaning not you, just most of us would.
Yeah, like most of us will be old. Some of us will be dead. Oh shit. So I'm trying to think what else. Oh, and obviously Blue Protocol. It's so weird how quiet they are right now. Like they've been really transparent, but when it comes to like the US release or the North American release, they are so quiet. Like Amazon hasn't said not even a peep.
Yeah, and we were talking about it before stream. Like I would bet that most gamers, because most gamers are casual gamers. Most gamers don't even know this game exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it's so weird for them to have such a hot title, like something that is gonna do. It's gonna do well if people know about it, because people will play it.
Yeah.
Like Genshin, right? It's just so weird that they're not doing any kind of like hype for it. You know what I mean?
Caustic. Amazon takes good care of it. I hope Amazon does take good care of it. And I know people don't have a lot of hope because of Lost Ark and because of New World, and I get it. This is fucking geriatric hour up here, man. We got all kinds of
you know
old
what?
fucks
You
up
know
here.
what, Ian?
It's
Hey, chat. Fuck you, Ian. How's that? Because in 8 years, 8 years, I'll be 52 years old.
Yeah, I'll be in my 40s, vibing up in my 40s. So anyway, what I was gonna say is that I don't think Amazon fucked up Lost Ark. New World, that's a different story. That is on Amazon's head, but that's also their first game. Like, do we really want to define Amazon's entire future by the first game that they ever made?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Fuck them.
That's what we do with everybody. Like, you
Fuck
put
'em.
out one bad game, you're bad.
Throw them out. Throw them out. Yeah.
No,
Smilegate is the one that made that obviously made it, and it's also Smilegate has been the one that came out with the content cadence, the schedule that they were going to release content for Lost Ark, which is something that ended up leading to the downfall of Lost Ark over time.
And Amazon's guilty of not putting Smilegate's changes to monetization when they did it. They literally put out the dirtiest monetization version of that game at launch. Like, Smilegate had changed some of the stuff to make it less predatory, but Amazon was like, oopsies, money.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, like, they didn't really roll it back. I mean, they honestly have worked to make sure that Smilegate, or that Lost Ark was trying to be a little bit less predatory and pay to win than the Korean version. And by in a lot of regards, it is. It is less pay to win than the Korean version.
We have a super chat, sir. And Tom would like to know why you are picking on us 40-year-olds, you piece of shit.
Because
he didn't type that part, but I'm pretty sure the ... is you piece of shit.
Because y'all are dusty as fuck. Dusty. Y'all dusty.
I'll show you where I shoot dust.
Yeah.
All right. Like powdered milk.
Oh God. Oh man. I don't have much hate with AGS, but I do think they were slow in killing the bots and other stuff. Yeah, and here's the thing. I think a lot of that stuff is learning, or is like growing pains. It's the issue with learning in general. Like, obviously AGS is kind of a newer studio. I feel like for the most part, like, people can complain about New World as much as they want, but like, they've found a stable player base. It's low, but I'm gonna be, dude. You guys can call me fucking crazy for this, but obviously I only watch one streamer, right? I watch Asmon. And all he does is play fucking New World. And like, the more I watch him play it, the more I'm like, I kind of want to give it a shot. I'm like, oh, that kind of looks kind of cool. It doesn't look too bad. Maybe I should give it a try. I don't know. Like, and then I remember it's an MMO, and I'm like, why? I shouldn't do this to myself. So I don't know. Like, I feel like they've learned a lot from New World, and hopefully that's something that's going to go forward with the things that they end up doing for Blue Protocol. But the thing is that Blue Protocol is going to have a lot. Sorry, Bandai Namco is going to have a lot of say of what's going to happen with the game in North America. I don't think that Amazon as the publisher in the US is going to have nearly as much say as they do in the Smilegate, like they do with Smilegate. I think so far as American monetization, they'll have some say in it, but so far as like content cadence, when things get released, I feel like a lot of that stuff is going to be in line. Because the biggest benefit to Blue Protocol is the fact that they're not doing some, hey, we're going to release it in Japan and it's going to be out for like 6 years and then we're going to release it in the US kind of issue, where you have years of content that you're not giving to the other game. That's not what's going to happen here. These two games are going to be like the game, from what it looks like Blue Protocol is going to be released somewhat globally, at least in Japan and in North America at the same time. I think.
Yeah, like Phantasy Star Online 2. Lost Ark is the same example of that, of being out somewhere else for a long time, having a backlog of content, and then spacing that content out as new content for the American audience.
Yeah. I genuinely do believe, and Caustic brings it up, and this is the same thing that This is the same thing that I brought up in my video about Blue Protocol specifically, is that Blue Protocol is a game that I have a lot of faith in. It's because I actually have a lot of faith in Bandai Namco as a developer and as a publisher.
Yeah.
As both. They're good. It is weird, though, that they're having... the one thing that's a little odd, I think the only reason why they're partnering with Amazon in the US is specifically for their servers.
Yeah, it's for their servers. Bandai Namco, typically on their anime style games, kind of do have, I wouldn't say crappy monetization, but there will be a lot of skins, a lot of characters. So if not characters, but it should probably like outfits and stuff like that for Blue Protocol. So there should be a lot of stuff. So I'm more concerned of like, what can I earn in game versus what do I have to buy to look cool? I mean, you always have that issue, right? We were worried about that with Diablo. Is it, is the in-game stuff going to be cool enough that the skins don't?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
matter?
Like, all I'm going to care about in Blue Protocol is how much of my anime waifu's titties are showing.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's got a slider, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it have the jiggly physics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And where do I put my card?
Hell yeah, brother. Let's see. Is it because of Elden Ring? No, actually, the funny thing is, Bobby, it's not about Elden Ring. It's actually because of Tales. Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Vesperia, Tales of Berseria, Tales of Arise. It's because I love I like the Tales games.
And I like playing the same Dragon Ball Z game over and over and over again, so that's why.
Yeah, Budokai Tenkaichi.
Yeah.
But like they genuinely like make like fucking banger anime games.
Yeah, they do.
If none of you guys have ever played to any of the Tales games, go fucking download Vesperia or Berseria. I would say Arise, but like I think I liked it. It wasn't a bad game.
No, it's not a bad game, but
it doesn't hit like Vesperia fucking slaps.
Yeah, that game slaps.
Yeah, it slaps. Like if I'm like, oh, dude, you should go play. Like, it's one of those games where I can easily tell somebody, go fucking play that shit because it's good. Exilia, I have not played Exilia. Isn't there two of those actually? Isn't there like Exilia 1 and 2? I'm pretty sure that's like a two-parter. I can't remember. Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's what I thought. There was a 1 and 2. That's actually, I'm not gonna lie, like one of the things that I want to do, the whole reason I'm getting the fucking HDMI to play on the couch is I'm just gonna play Tales games on the couch. Because I'm like sitting there like looking at my PlayStation store and I'm like, man, I'm really mad I didn't pick up any of these fucking Tales games for my PlayStation because I'd much rather play it on the couch. So I'm just gonna burn out my fucking Tales games on the couch. I'll play I'll finish Arise, then I'll go and play Berseria. And then maybe I'll even go back and play Exilia. I don't know. We'll find out. We fit to find out. So, guys, this has been yet again another great podcast. I'm out of shit to talk about. You've tapped me out for the evening. Mark is getting yelled at by his wife as well, so he also needs to finish up. So,
she heard about me shooting dust, and she's like. So I was like,
is that why my throat's dry? So anyway. All right. So absolutely fantastic podcast, guys. I really want to thank the main contributor to the podcast, which is you, my friends, the audience. If it wasn't for your guys' feedback, you guys being here, the energy throughout the entire show today was absolutely insane. The podcast itself is growing at an alarming rate. Honestly, like, I want you guys to realize, only like a couple months ago, we only had about maybe like 3 or 4 people watching us.
Yeah.
On average, the podcast during once the podcast was up and posted, it only get about like, I don't know, like under like 100 or 150 views in total. Now we get over 300 views every podcast, and then throughout the week it gets a bunch as well. But this is really the reason why we do the podcast is specifically to be able to interact with you guys. That's the whole reason we do it, because we want to talk to you guys, have something a little bit more direct than what I normally do is like, making videos and stuff like that. This is our chance to build and grow something fantastic and beautiful that we all can be proud of and be happy to be a part of. So again, I bring it up every podcast, and I'll bring it up every podcast in the future. But if you guys are not in the Discord, get in that motherfucker right now, because we chilling up in there. Outside of that, I have
Jiggly Physics. It has no price tag. It's priceless, buddy. Sorry.
It is priceless.
There's no ceiling. There's no ceiling on that.
It's only like 5 o'clock, so chances are I might end up throwing up another stream tonight, playing something. I don't know if I will or not. Maybe. If not, I'll be streaming next week. And then I have 2 videos I think I'm gonna have come out next week. I don't know when yet. I don't know when, but I got 2 videos that I'm working on, so we'll get something going on. Mark, what do you got? Address the people.
Was reading Bobby's comment. Hey guys, join the Discord. I check Discord almost daily. I check Discord probably more than I check anything. Ian and Jackie have done a really good job of putting it together in different channels. So if there's anything that you'll want to talk about, throw it in there. Ian checks it, I check it. We'd like to respond to people and just build a community. It'd be fun. I think Ian needs to work together for us to have a community play night. Would be pretty cool. So maybe he'll work on that. I don't know. He's got
that's the objective. Is eventually we're gonna start playing games together. That'll happen. I promise.
Yeah.
I have to get rid of a couple other things that I've bound myself to before I can do that. Once I get done with this Final Fantasy raid session I'm doing, get this ultimate under my belt so that I can call myself a pro gamer. Then we're gonna kick it up a notch. We're gonna do some pretty crazy shit, absolutely crazy shit. People are gonna go nuts.
And we're gonna have to ban Bobby because he's being too suggestive.
Yeah. God damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby. All right. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining the podcast. Have an incredible week. Stay cool. Stay righteous. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. And until then, keep on, adventurer.